I did it.
$25 on Amazon. I might just buy it.
So the first thing said.
We lost Ryan's camera. Wow.
River, they are squirrels. Why is my screen black? I see nothing. Oh, okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god, we're here. Oh my god. And everyone's here. Fantastic. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Melody, co-founder of The Whole Card. Why is Ryan's camera gone?
It's here.
Where you find yourself today, and welcome to the table. And welcome back to Tabletop Tuesdays. We've returned. We left our adventure in Volcana, and we have moved to a brand new world with brand new characters and brand new people. It's all very exciting. And tonight we are staying with Fantasy Age, the same system, but we are doing a homebrew campaign that I wrote. And I'm really excited, and I hope you guys like the story. I'm very, very excited about it. It's based off of a little starter adventure that comes with the core book, which looks a little something like this. And you should get your hands on it, because Fantasy Age is a really great system for beginners. I adore it. And it's really awesome. So we are going to be kind of hopping right in, because I don't want to take too much time, as we had a couple of difficulties. So we're gonna kind of hop right into tonight's adventure in a little country known as High Falls Swale, nestled within the Inundar mountain range, a treacherous mountain range on the far eastern side of a continent known as Indor Litha, which is made up by me, because that's where we are. Because I can do that. I have power and authority that way. So, to get us started, let's learn a little bit about our players here with us, and just a smidge about their character. Who's what?
Dre. Dre's very upset that I shaved.
Dre, I am also very upset that Ryan shaved. Very upset. Super upset. Super duper upset. Yeah. All right. So let's start with Maru, you need to go down. Let's start with Yuli at the top. Yuli, tell us a little bit about your character and what she's doing.
Why do I always go first?
Oh right, you're never ready to go first. Ever.
I want to go first, but I will. So yes, I am back as Arade. I'm so excited. She's been revamped a little, but she's basically so I like playing her. So she is an elf. Her family did not originate in Wales. They actually, they traveled over the mountains and settled, started an inn. So she helped run the inn. Liked running around the woods. She did a lot of hunting. She for the inn. So,
Yuli is hard.
that was that. She is actually 30 years old, which is about 18 for elves, but is still kind of old for going out on choosing nights.
You're gonna have to speak up a little bit, Yuli. Seems like you're a little bit hard to hear. You're gonna have to eat the microphone, I'm afraid.
You put the mic in your face and then you speak real loud.
Yuli has this brand new mic that we're all really excited about.
Ryan, I hate your new stupid face.
You hated the old stupid face.
We all hate Ryan's new stupid face. So, sorry.
What do you mean started?
Fine, how's that?
It's lovely.
You look super professional.
You do. You look like you're in like a radio studio. I'm gonna keep having to remove the cat from the chair.
My beautiful face.
You just have to like angle yourself ever so.
So, okay, yeah, so she's an elf, wanted to get out of the house, finally got out of the house, and is going to choosing nights. She's a rogue elf, so, have all the fun rogue stuff. Yeah.
All the fun rogue stuff. I love it.
All the fun rogue stuff.
That's gonna be great.
I'm
All
gonna have to
right.
change my
Dre
lighting.
doesn't think it's that mic that's picking up.
Oh, that is not something we had all considered. There's only how many microphones do you have plugged in?
Just the one.
Then it should not. I didn't see what you held up there,
Does your
Jeff.
computer? I'm basically interacting with chat, but not interrupting.
Ah, okay. Thank you. If chat wants to walk Yuli through the mic issues, I don't know.
We tried. Actually, Dre, I did not think about. Yuli, does your laptop have an integrated microphone?
Yes, it does.
Ooh.
It'd be, like,
What's your default set as?
Probably the integrated microphone.
I mean, input device is this microphone.
Chad, it's also super quiet.
Then I am uber confused.
I was the loudest one here.
Yeah, well, we hear him just fine. Hi, Strudel. How are you? Yeah, we're not. So choosing night's gonna take two nights for sure now.
Sessions.
2 sessions for sure. 2 sessions for sure.
An eternity later.
Alright, I just changed something. How's that?
I still hear her
You're
fine
good
now.
on our end.
Items are 3 times more, right? Yes, items are, we do still have our items that you can use. They are going to be more expensive. You can see them in the store. You can use command items. Jasmine says much better. I think we figured it out. Is Chad still okay? We should all wear headphones.
Agreed.
Fantastic.
Then we'll just start like a doo-wop group. I said I can't wear my crown. You can wear your crown.
It's true. I mean, it's just, you could put flowers on the headphones.
Yeah.
So let's go over to Ryan then. Ryan, who's under @thewholecard, because he doesn't have his own Twitter account. That's okay. He doesn't need one. I control the social media anyway. So Ryan, tell us a little bit about your character that is going to choosing night. By the way, I'm a little bit frazzled, and I do apologize. As a short introduction, just very short, so you know what they're talking about when they say choosing night. Our characters are not full-grown adventurers as you typically see when you're playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, whatever the case might be. They are starting out as young people about to take on the coming-of-age traditional rite of passage known as choosing night. They will be... I didn't see the alert. I'm sorry I didn't see the alert. Oh, because they're probably covered by majigs. They are.
Might be hiding.
They alerts are hiding a little bit. So if you followed, thank you. I believe that was
We're inexperienced adventurers.
Yes, that is a good way to put it. Infant adventurers. They are young people. They are about to become adults in the eyes of their peers in High Falls Swale. Oh, hi. That's an alert. That'll wake you up. That'll keep you on your toes. Once they have completed the choosing night rituals, then they will be considered adults in the eyes of their community. So Ryan, tell us a little bit about your character tonight.
Alright, I am playing Tari Grimar. He's a dwarf rogue from Adrenham. Unlike me right now, he has a splendid beard.
Your face is naked.
Yes.
You know the Rangers are gonna lose now.
About the Rangers?
Devils, sorry.
94 nevermore.
No, that's why I shaved, because playoff beard. I have Pittsburgh and Boston going to the conference final anyway. Whatever. Where was I? Oh, yes, from Adrenham. Any personal information, or should that be left up to?
It's whatever you want to share, or feel we might know just upon meeting you. Whatever you want.
As far as age is concerned, he's a little bit older than most of the people going on this choosing night adventure. In terms of human age, he's about 17. So dwarven age is probably 40, 38. I don't know.
So that's right at the tail end of people normally going. Someone with like
Yes.
17, 18, maybe 19 is kind of stretching it a bit.
Yes.
But all right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Scruffy.
Scruffy. Oh God, he's gonna be scruffy. Chad, you want to tell us a little bit about your adventurer?
You guys may remember me from when I DM'd for these guys. So, my character is Rhea. She has a last name, but you kind of need a last name for... You kind of need a family for last names to be important. She's a female human ranger. She, due to reasons, bears, her family was killed, and she was taken in by a local half-elf ranger who raised her and taught her the ropes. And due to personal reasons, bears, she is having to leave the swale and go and solve things. Bears.
Related to bears. Noted.
She has an irrational hatred and fear of bears.
But
Okay.
Turns out she's half bear.
It turns out she's half bear. There is a new race in the Fantasy Age companion book, which they finally came out with a companion book, and I'm so excited, called Blooded, which is essentially half-blooded, not just between the typical 6 races, but between, like, monsters and such. So, you know, if we wanted to go that route, we could, but we did not use any of the new races from the new book. We stuck to the originals because it's just, you know, we know what we're doing, so it's fine. Thank you, Chad. And yes, Chad was our guest DM here some months ago, and it was a lot of fun. So we plan on having him back to guest DM when we are able to do that. Last but not least, we've got Empress Jen. Jen, tell us a little bit about your adventurer.
Okay, so my name is Lucrecia Caffrey, or Lucy for short. She's a halfling mage from the little town, I forgot how big this place is, Two Falls. And when she was very young, we'll say about 3 years old, her mother was killed.
So tragic. You guys are so tragic.
Tragic. And because of this, her father was very overprotective, never wanted her to venture too far away or leave the house. So she was always pretty much surrounded by her books. It was always everything she learned from books about the outside world. When she was a little older, she did ask her father to work for one of his friends at their craft shop. So there she learned how to do crafts. She was about 13 when she started apprenticing there. She was good at sculpting and painting, all stuff stuff that she read in her books that she wanted to see in person. She just made them in her sculptures so she could see them. And she learned some illusionist magic, so she could disguise herself and sneak into taverns to hear more stories. Because she just loves culture. She loves hearing traveler stories. And so that's pretty much it. Curious and artsy.
Okay, and you're our mage of the group.
I am.
So we have 2 rogues, a mage, and a warrior.
And
Rhea being our warrior.
And no healer.
I'm sort of healer.
And no healer. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. You had a longbow.
Great idea.
No, I know. I don't have any of the information.
Ah.
And the dagger, too.
Yes. All right. Well,
Real quick, can I just get everyone's health?
Oh.
That's-
I'm using 26.
sharing max health.
Max health, mine is 30.
Also,
Mine,
Ryan?
30.
mine is 32.
Dang. Y'all are a healthy bunch.
This is fishy.
I'm keeping track of everyone's health.
That's a thing to do. Because I
Does that mean I don't have to do any math?
you do still have to do your own. Yeah, no, you still have to do your own. He can confirm or whatever, but you still have to mark your own sheets. Great. So now that we know our heroes, let's go ahead and let's get started. Let's go straight into our adventure. I'm gonna have my fantastic players keeping an eye on chat. So if I do miss something, I apologize. I'm sure someone will notify me if it's a question for me, if it's very important. And if you guys can respond mainly through typing is super duper helpful as well to not interrupt the flow of the story. And if you do want to, you can help adjust or you can sort of you affect the story. You use command items. You can see what items are available for purchase, either with bits or with cards. The prices are there. And if you want to redeem something, you get to do it. Whatever you redeem will be used on the next roll. And that's that. It's a little easier to manage it that way. So go ahead and take a look at what you can purchase and have fun with that while we get started. So, adventurers, you are young swale folk who have made an enormous decision that will change your life from this day forward. For your own reasons, whatever they are, you've agreed that you are prepared to observe what?
The wheel redemption.
Already?
Yep.
Good gracious. Give me just a moment because there's no things yet. I promise. You're not rolling for anything yet.
I forgot to mention I'm 15, not 13. I've aged since I started apprenticing.
15?
Yes.
I think you said that.
Just want to make sure.
Okay, noted.
I didn't say it, so 17.
17. They're all
I have
very young.
access to my keyboard, so I will be communicating with chat by a notepad mainly.
Works for me. Anyway, so you have agreed that you are prepared to observe the age-old tradition of passage to adulthood, choosing night. Some gleefully sign the documents that arrive at your houses, while others dread the moment like they're signing their lives away. Regardless, the list of participants is set, and you are all gathered in your towns and cities ready to be escorted to the center of High Falls Swale, a day's trip or more from the nearest towns. You arrive at night to the town of Gornfo's Trail. It's a smaller place than most, but it's steeped in the traditions of choosing night and the lore about the mad sorceress Dunmara. Signs of her past presence, whatever that might mean, are everywhere in the little town. There are statues erected in her honor. Townsfolk, as you guys are coming in, they're waving at all the approaching campers with masks of either a sad elven woman, a hulking orc, or a one-eyed hawk. You're taken to the longhouse in the center of town. There are rectangular tables that are lined up in the center of the main hall that are set for nearly 100 people. On either short end of the hall is a statue of two figures. One is a svelte woman with long hair and an ornate headdress. Her robes sweep far past her small feet that peek out from beneath her gown. And beside her is a towering, hulkish figure. His lower jaw protrudes to make room for two sharp tusks. And on his shoulder is a majestic hawk with one ruby eye. Everyone is instructed to sit, eat, enjoy their last night of childhood. Magically, food appears on each plate. Platters fill the tables with more helpings of meats and cheeses and stews, as well as desserts. And these smells are just filling your nostrils, making you salivate as you prepare to dig in. There's live music from a little band playing in the corner that underscores the joyous meal. And after some hours, you've filled yourselves, you've had good conversation. What? Never mind. And you go to bed in a magically produced feather-soft cot, well-fed, if not with a slightly sore belly. So we said there was a wheel redemption. Let me make sure I can do that for you. Streamlabs. Streamlabs is the product we use, the website we use. I'm only a little sad that I'm going to be missing out on all the cool jokes because I just can't pay attention to both.
Yeah.
It's a struggle, but we deal. Where'd my music go? Oh, right, it's Middle Earth. Middle Earth, shut up. Halfling Festival, go. All right, where's my wheel? Where's my wheel? Where's my wheel? Where's my wheel? We had a couple of technical difficulties before we started, so I didn't have this up, and I apologize. But now, so we've got a few less goodies on the wheel, but they're a little more impactful. So we've got a DM reroll. So the DM, that's me, I can reroll any number of dice from the upcoming roll. A PC reroll. So one of the players and the person who redeemed the wheel can decide which player gets to redeem it. They can reroll any of their dice. You can get 2 stunt points, which can be very helpful. Stunt points let you do some extra fun things on your turn. A critical fail, a critical success, or an instant knockout or kill. So you have the opportunity to just vanquish an enemy. And it'll be up to your judgment whether it's a knockout or a kill. So, wheel. We're gonna launch it. Ooh. I gotta make sure the wheel's in the right spot. Now the wheel moved. Because Discord. Here's my wheel. Yeah, we're gonna move the wheel over in front of me. Make it a little bit smaller. And where's the button? Where's the button? Where's the button? Where's the button? Spin. Please tell me it went. Dang it! Why is it behind everything? The wheel can't. Oh, there it is.
You gotta move it up in the order.
What have we got? What have we got? That's purple. Purple is a PC reroll. So we're starting off strong. One of the players, whoever redeemed that, one of the players will be getting a reroll. Congratulations. Speaking of, we're going to have our first roll of the night, guys. Our first roll of the game. You guys are all tucked away in bed, your belongings where they are. And I'm going to need all of you guys to roll for me a perception check. And if you have the hearing focus, you can go ahead and use it.
Oh, yeah. Focus gets you +2, correct?
That is correct.
We've got a 13 with 5 stunt points.
Dang, son.
13.
13? Okay.
The reroll is going to
Okay, Strudel.
Empress Jet.
Okay, Empress Jen, make note that you have a reroll if you want to use it. And you can use any of those. You can reroll any of those dice.
I'm good with my 17, but I'll keep in mind.
Good
But,
gracious.
no.
All right. So
21 and 4 stunt points.
wow, guys.
Stop, please, 2. I have 6.
6. You guys have the. I'll let you decide if you want to use those stun points. Here's what happened. While you guys are sleeping, you are.
Sorry, I forgot to add the modifier. 15.
So you added the accuracy. I mean, not the perception score.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. So as you guys are sleeping, you're stirred from your sleep by a strange kind of tapping sound. It kind of sounds like something hard chipping away at stone, almost. So what do you do?
Would I be able to recognize that from being in mines?
You know the sound of metal on stone. It's definitely metal on stone.
Okay. Is there a window that I
Can I tell where it's coming from?
Are you opening up your eyes to take a look around, or are you going to ignore it?
Out of bed.
Okay, so you sit up. For those of you who do, you sit up. The room is essentially quiet. It's very, very quiet in there. Everyone is sound asleep, full and happy smirks on their faces. But you see on one side of the main hall, you see by one of the statues, you see someone. He looks a little short. But then again, you're all relatively young, and you see this figure standing by one of the statues, and you can see that there is some kind of like banging motion, some kind of chipping motion. There seems to be something in the figure's hand. Who has dark sight here? My dwarf does. My dwarf and my elf.
Do.
Orcs have dark sight. I know that for sure.
Not blind ones.
No, they have no sight. Tari and Arade, you guys can see that there's a boy standing there, and he seems to have some kind of metal bar in his hand, and he's chipping away. What?
A bar.
Oh god. He seems to be chipping away at the face of the hawk statue where that little ruby is. And by his feet, you see a bag. There's a bag filled, and it's like just sort of slightly open, and you can see inside of it what appears to be a couple of assorted things. There seems to be some wrapped up candies. You can see a couple of, you see the stem of a, not the stem, the neck of a bottle of some dark liquid. They're like hanging on the neck of the bottle. There you see a little jeweled bracelet. Yeah, if you're still in bed, that's about all you can see.
Can I do a stealth check and sneak up to this,
Totally.
this kid?
Oh, that's what I was gonna do.
You can as well.
I'm gonna ready
so-
my phone.
17 for step.
Well, yeah, so first, I'm gonna take out my hunting
17?
knife.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get ready for that, and I'm just gonna try and walk up to him and pick the bag up.
Are you stealthing? Or are you just gonna walk up to him, Arade?
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk up.
Okay, and
Like, hey, this is my
Rhea,
bag of stuff.
you said you were readying your bow,
Yes.
but staying in bed.
Sort of getting into a sitting position. Not exactly standing up, but more like trying to not make it obvious.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So Arada, you walk right up. Tari, you almost it's almost like your dark beard helps hide the rest of you, and you sort of seem to like sink into, it's already very, very dark in this room. There's only just sort of a lone ray of moonlight, and you slip towards him. Not. What did you roll? 17?
With 4 stunt points.
Yeah, no, he does not see a thing. As he's chipping away, you can see very clearly he is chipping at this stone, this ruby in the statue. Arade, you walk up to him.
I'm gonna pick up the bag and look in it.
Okay, well, you didn't stealth, so he immediately turns around and he kind of jumps back a little bit, like he didn't expect anyone to wake up, and he reaches for his own bag back. He reaches to snatch the bag back. Are you going to contest this? Are you going to try and hold on? Or are you going to let him have his bag?
I'm gonna try and snatch it away or keep it.
Okay, so
Still in bed, just watching all this happening.
that's fantastic. So Arade, roll your strength. Might, if you have it.
Okay. My computer screen just went crazy, so I can't see my sheet.
We can still see you for now. Did you want to use any of those
That happened
stunts?
before. But I'm pretty sure my strength is 1.
Yeah, for what? Like an exploration? I don't
Yeah.
know that with the new.
Oh, no. They're all the same stunts. It's just if you want to use any, you can.
So 15.
Okay, versus his. Yeah, that's gonna do it. You snatch the bag right back from him, and he kind of freezes for a minute, and he's like, "Nothing in there is yours." And he's whispering, "Nothing's in there is yours. Just relax."
Can I hear it?
And I say, I have a feeling nothing in here's.
Never mind, she said it for me.
Sorry, I beat you to the punchline.
He's like, I didn't take nothing. It's fine. And you see, the boy he has dark skin, kind of kinky curls. He tries to give you his best like Colgate smile. Just like nothing's going on here. Everything's fine. Just let me have my bag back. I just want to put the ruby in, right? You know the tradition. If you can get the ruby out of the Hawkeye, you get blessed.
You blessed by what?
I don't know, the gods or whatever. You get blessed. I could use a little blessing, you know?
Do you really want to be blessed by something you don't know? It may not be a blessing you're looking for.
I'm gonna yell from across the room. Does the blessing stop arrows?
As you yell, there are people who are like stirring now from this commotion, from you yelling across this long room. And the boy looks around and says, okay, fine. You don't want it? Fine, whatever. Just give me my bag back. Nothing in there is yours. Come on, man.
Walk away from him. So.
He follows behind you, just
this
like.
Bag anyone else's?
I promise, I'll put everything back. Just give me my bag back.
Fine, we'll watch you do it.
Yeah, so I dump all the contents out on the Rhea's cot so she can kind of keep an eye on it too.
So you walked over to there? Okay.
Stack back.
And when you dump this out, you see it was full of all sorts of little things. A couple more bracelets, more candy. You see 3 more bottles of the dark liquid, which he immediately snatches up and says, "These are definitely mine. I promise, these are mine." Yeah, I took the other stuff. And he puts those back in the bag. You see on the bed now there is those manners of things, the other essentials you would take on a camping trip. You also notice a dagger with like a sort of a wrapped up hilt and some like kind of ashy smudges on it. And you see a silver hair clip in there, and a couple of other things. And to which the boy starts taking this like a fistful of like some of the jewels. And did you follow? Well, you're still up against the wall.
I'm there. I can see what's happening. I'm just hidden.
Yeah, you're still hidden. It's up to you if you want to react.
Can I like see all the stuff that's been poured out from where I'm standing?
Yeah, I'd say it's not too far.
Does
You
the
can
dagger
see.
look like it's mine?
It definitely looks like it's yours.
So he's starting to collect up the jewels?
He's taking a handful of these jewels and he starts going back to other people's bags and like putting some bracelets in one girl's bag and taking a little trinket, putting it in another person's bag.
I'm going to come out of the darkness and tackle this fucker.
You're following him to make sure he does it?
Hand on hilt.
Okay. And he's returning everything. Tari. Sorry, one second, Tari. Lucy, what are you doing?
No, so I got out of bed quietly and I started walking up to the bed because it looked like my hair clip is in there.
It looks like your silver hair. It looks like your hair clip. Like he managed to kind of like flip. But that's up to you. You said you were tackling him.
Is my dagger on the ground or does he have
It's on the bed.
It's on the bed.
Yeah, he didn't get to returning that yet. He went and took the jewels first.
I'm going to grab the dagger back.
Okay, you take your dagger back. And he's returned all the other things, comes back to the bed. Nothing is left
and
there.
I wait for him by the bed.
By his bed? Or by Rhea's bed?
Yeah.
That's where we are. Okay. He goes back and he's like, okay, everything's back. And he's telling you, Rhea, like looking a little, ugh. He's like, okay, everything's back. I'm sorry. And
How big is this guy?
He's average human height. For like a 15-year-old kid.
So, she's just gonna grab him, pull him in so close to her face, that he has trouble making out her features and just go, if I ever see you doing this shit again, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And then, a couple of my friends are gonna come and kick you for funsies.
Roll your intimidation. It's communication, I believe. No, it's strength intimidation.
That is doubles equals stun points.
Yes, as long as you succeed.
15 with. How do stun points work? Because this was never explained.
So stun points. There's a list of stunts. In this instance, it would probably be role play stunts. And they're assigned a certain number. So based on however many stunts, you can divide that number among, whatever is there on the list. So this would probably be role play stunts. And at this point, people have woken up to the commotion. So there are people all, especially around your area where you were sleeping. They're all like their eyes are open, kind of like peeking and seeing what's going on. So if you did something, you would certainly get their attention.
What were the stunts? Because on my character sheet it doesn't actually have that. So give me a second.
Sure.
I'm like, I'm gonna be standing by the bed and like cleaning my nails with the tip of the blade.
Gonna make this poor boy piss himself.
That's the idea.
He just wanted the ruby. While he's doing that though,
maybe he should have been better at stealing.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have.
That's what Arade was gonna add, like, if you're gonna be a thief, just at least don't get caught.
I'm not a thief. I just needed some stuff. I sell things with my pop. We sell things, and I wasn't gonna take these things. I was just gonna.
Get the number on your stunt die for doubles, or
yes, the number on the stunt die. That's how many you get.
Did this work? I think I put
Well,
the sheets on the chat.
I'm gonna go with.
Put what in chat?
And I thought I tried putting the stunt sheet thingies in Discord in our little chat. I don't know if it worked or not.
Okay.
Link is
I'm gonna go with sway the crowd.
Okay. Your interpersonal efforts are so effective they spill over onto others in the area. You affect additional people. One additional person of your choice. Okay.
Because I got 5.
All right. So, all right.
Oh,
So that was
16.
for. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you tell him this and his legs shake. Who else is listening to this? Tari is, Arade. Okay. Who we got? 3 of you guys?
I'm gonna go with the person who.
Oh, sorry. You can choose. That's fair. You choose.
I'm gonna go with in character. I'm gonna have it be the person I saw go up and physically take this guy's bag, Yuli.
All right, so Irade, you hear Rhea's words, and something about them, they come out almost like a growl, like almost animalistic in her anger with him, and you actually take a couple steps back from this. She is a little scary. You will be very mindful of Rhea from this point on for sure. You don't know who she is, but you don't mess with that beige, is what you know.
I'm starting to like her more and more.
So he's like, I'm sorry, man. I won't do it again. I promise. I promise. I'm sorry. And he just takes his now mostly empty bag, except with just his belongings in it, and dashes across. And you hear like a couple people around them like giving little claps for you guys over what just happened, before like rolling back and going back to sleep. Yeah, and
now it's time for my favorite, Go the Fuck to Sleep by Samuel Jackson.
Go the fuck to sleep. Do you guys go back to sleep?
Yeah, with one eye open.
One ruby eye?
I'm really tempted to try and steal kids' bottles of liquid.
His liquor?
Because I'm guessing it's alcohol, and I want...
That's up to you. If you're going to sleep, then you are welcome to go back to sleep. If you want to try to do that, you can. I mean, he'll probably just let. Well, it's up to you.
I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna go to
I can
sleep,
mess with
but
him
I'm gonna.
later. I'll go back to bed, but before
Sorry, you cut out a little bit. You're gonna go back to bed, and then...
my stuff is freezing. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to bed, but before that, I'm gonna just be like, I like your style.
Thank you. I tried.
Oh, I'll walk off.
Okay. Tari?
I'm gonna go to bed. Well, I'm gonna drag like the my cot over by the statue,
Okay.
and I'm gonna sleep in front of the statue.
Roll me perception again.
Sure. 14.
Okay. You start to drift to sleep by the statue now, and you can't help but feel like you're hearing... You think you might hear someone crying, maybe? But you open your eyes and you look around, and everyone around you is just sound asleep. Not even like their faces aren't moving, they're not whimpering in their sleep or anything. You think you hear someone crying, but it slowly fades away, and then you are able to fall asleep, just as you were.
I can tell like where it was coming from.
It was almost like it was.
Not in the room.
It was almost like it was in your head.
That's good. I'm schizo. I'm a schizo dwarf, guys.
You heard some crying. If you had to guess, you might guess it might be coming from the statue. So
There were two statues, right?
there's two statues on either side of the
The woman
woman.
and the hawkish dude
correct.
with the hawk.
Correct. Well, the statue is the three of them. The three of them like make up one statue. So it's the
Okay.
three on one side, the three on the other side. I mean, it's the one statue made of three figures.
And there's two of them.
And there's
Yes.
two of them.
Got it.
Yes.
Do they both have ruby eyes?
Yes. Both of them, it's both hawks, it's just the one ruby eye. One ruby eye on one, which is now like slightly misplaced.
It's like falling out.
Just a smidge. It's not coming out, but it's a little misplaced.
Can I pop it back in?
Are you gonna spend time doing that? Sure. It's back in place.
Like it never even happened.
Just like it never happened. And when you touch it to pop it back in place, you hear that sound again.
Oh god.
So you...
I'm gonna take some time before I go back to sleep and center myself.
Sounds good.
Oh, gross.
And in that time... Oh, stop it. So you wake up the next day. You didn't miss too much sleep over the commotion.
Oh, Jen gone.
No, Jen, come back.
Oh,
God dang it.
Baby, come back.
You can blame it all on Tack.
Born.
We'll get her back in just a moment. Sorry for
In the meantime, enjoy this.
the weirdo
Picasso.
screen. Ryan knows what to do for this, and I don't.
Nope, I don't now because I hadn't set up for such a thing.
It's true. That's true. Let's not look at that screen. We're just gonna sit on this screen for a moment until we get Jen back. Once we get Jen back, though, we'll switch back. We will continue though because we only have limited time. The tech is real, dude. If you thought we were tech savvy, you were sorely mistaken. Someone text Brian. Can you text Jen, or you have her number? Do you have it somewhere? All right.
I've had enough of this.
The DM has had enough. So, you guys are awoken the next day. That little band that was playing the night before is now playing like soft, like morning music to lull you all awake. It's very pomp and circumstance for what you may or may not be used to. So you're awoken by the escorts who brought you to the little village of Gornfo's Trail, which is a mix of like people in the town, people from the town, and some of the peak guard, which are the guards in High Falls Swale, sort of their law enforcement. All signs from the previous night's festivities have vanished as you pack up your belongings. And one adult does make a quick mention, not to be so rowdy, to leave the the monuments in town exactly as you found them, please. It's very courteous and respectful to the people who live here and the traditions of choosing night, which you all ignore and head on your way. So you're let out to your carriages. Adults and bleary-eyed children line the streets of Gornfo's Trail in those same masks and waving to you all. They wave and cheer on your way out on this beautiful, perfect midsummer day. The sun is shining, a calm breeze that perfectly eases the warmth of summer as your entire future lays ahead of you. So after a short ride, you arrive at the glimmering lakeside of High Falls Lake, where there are dozens of these wooden rowboats waiting for you. And across the water, you can see the shadowy peaks of an area you know as the Tor. It's an area at the foothills of the eastern edge of the mountains that enclose High Falls Swale. And you've heard a lot of scary stories about the Tor, passed among friends, about ghosts that drive explorers mad. Even worse than the stories you've heard about being around Dunmara's tower too long. You've heard all sorts of stories about people going crazy or being cursed. Like maybe you'd want a blessing to protect you from such a curse. Who knows? And interrupting the view of the Tor and the other side of the lake is the site of Dunmara's Isle, this lush green island in the center of the lake. There's an elderly fisherwoman who you were told her name is Paula, and she's helping campers with their luggage and loading them onto these boats. So the area is pretty crowded with just a lot of people who are saying hello to their friends from towns, meeting new people, getting in their boats, and getting ready to cross the lake. So, what are you guys doing?
Well, I'm just going to probably hook up with, what was it? What was her name? Yuli. Can't remember her character's name.
Oh, Errate.
I'm probably going to go to Errate and go, so, want to cross together?
She kind of shrugs and was like, sure. She was kind of eyeing one of the empty boats on the end.
Okay.
To keep away from everybody, but she's cool.
Oh, Jen is back, so I'm going to switch us back over to our normal screen.
Did I just get back?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wasn't looking.
Oh my gosh, I was listening this whole time.
Sorry.
I wasn't paying attention.
Sorry, you that's one of the things you're welcome to interrupt me for. Jen's back, guys. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your conversation.
So with that, she'd probably just go cool and follow her lead over to one of the empty boats.
Okay.
She doesn't want to be around people either.
You start making your way to one of those empty boats. There aren't many of them left as people are sort of hurrying along. Lucy, as you start making your way towards possibly one of the boats, you hear someone call out your name. You hear a young woman's voice calling out, "Lucy! Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in so long! I'm so glad you're here!" And you turn around, and there's a girl standing there, probably about just under twice your height, as she is a human girl. She has blonde hair. She kind of has that early blossoming look about her, figure to die for kind of thing. Bright blue eyes. She's smiling at you. And you recognize her as your friend Delda from Two Falls, who runs over and immediately wants to give you a big hug.
Like, oh, Zelda, how are you? And I kind of give her like an awkward hug, like, because I'm short, and I'm just like, oh.
Like hugging her, like just around like her thigh and her knee instead of like her waist. She's like, yeah, I'm doing really great. I feel like I never get to see you anymore because you're not by the shop anymore.
I know. Papa got annoyed with
stuff, and I haven't really been able to leave the house, which is why I'm here, actually.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you're here. It's partly why I'm here, too. Pfft, dads. And she rolled her eyes. And next to her, almost like glued to her side, you see her brother as well, her brother Cromar. And you remember how he very rarely leaves her side. He's very protective of her, sort of has his eye out on everyone around you two, looking sort of suspiciously, not at you, because he knows you, but sort of suspiciously eyeing everyone else around you. Bedelda says, did you pick a boat yet? Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go, sure. Before, I was sort of making my way to the same boat I saw, Arade and Rhea walking by, because I remember them from the night before, and I thought they'd be cool people.
Okay.
So I just start sort of inching my way back that way.
Yeah, and Delda and Cromar follow you, heading over to that boat. Tari, what are you doing?
Oh, no. I would like to check my inventory to make sure that I have everything.
You have everything.
I do have everything.
Yes.
The fishing line and all that. Right?
Yes.
So I do that. I'm gonna go find this guy from last night.
Okay.
This person, I assume they're gender. I'm sorry.
It was a boy. It was a boy from last night. You do spot him. He's chatting up this group of girls. Oh my, hello. I'm so sorry that our alerts aren't working. Well, I mean, they are, but they're lost behind things. But thank you so much.
I'm gonna probably assume that was King of Goblins.
Hey, King of Goblins, and welcome. King of Goblins?
Yeah.
Donde?
The really dark blue that blends into the background.
Oh! I love the age system. We do too. I'm trying to get the thing to go to the dashboard. Boom. Dashboard. Now I can see for sure. Yeah, you find the boy. He's like flashing that same grin to this group of girls and telling them how you when you get over to where they are, you hear him talking about all the things that he's sold all across High Falls Swale, him and his pop, these great items that he's scoured and found, things he's dug up himself.
Do you mean stolen?
And he looks over at you, and the color sort of drains from his face a little bit. But he kind of laughs it off, and he's like, I don't need to steal. I am an expert searcher. What do I need to steal for? And he pulls out a bottle of, one of the bottles of dark liquid that you recall from yesterday, and he's like, this is finely aged, Adrianam grade mead right here. This is the real stuff. I'm sure you know, and he shows it to you, and you can see, you see the bottle and the label on it, and you're like, that actually is a really good brand. And he's like, you know, and I'd be happy to share with my friends, with all my friends.
Is that particular brand like usually like sold outside of H&M?
It's like top notch. Like it could be sold, but like if you want, it's almost like knockoffs.
It's like a pricey thing.
Yeah. This is the good stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask him where he's from.
He holds out his hand to you.
What his name is.
Yeah, he holds out his hand to you, and he says, "The name's Revast from Road's End." That's how you know I know good quality stuff. I see it all come into the soil. I see all of it. Every year my pop's got a booth set up for the crowning of the Five Festival, and I know my stuff.
Just for the record, I want everyone to know. I wrote Revat, Road's End, douche.
Douche. That's how you take notes. That's how you take notes.
I'm like, I should have figured that you weren't from anywhere near Adrianham, considering your mining skills.
I mean, who could mine better than a dwarf? You would know. I don't necessarily mine. I just scour. But these lovely ladies and I were about to hop into one of the boats. You heading across the lake with us?
Yeah.
I've got plenty of... Oh, great! And he puts the bottle back, almost like before he says too much, and you guys hop into one of these boats. So, you are...
Get your product here.
So yes, you guys start. It takes a little bit settling, and then everyone starts making their way. It's a relative. It's like a nice. It's kind of a nice, smooth ride. Despite the people who are forced to take the oars, generally the ladies have passed this off to the gentlemen to do as they are sitting in their nice sundresses and their camping stuff with them, which is all very fashionable. This is all very, very exciting for you guys, and they all want to look their best. Even the men are dressed like, even their camping stuff is still nice stuff, as best as they can. What?
That yacht I must stick out like a sore thumb.
Maybe just a smidge. But you made a friend, who cares?
Yeah, we're handling it. We're fine.
So yeah, it's a relatively uneventful trip. You make your way across. It takes better part of an hour to get there. And you reach the island. The boats are docking. You get off on the dock. It's this very long dock, with two sides. There's like a center of it, and then it splits off to two sides. One side where Paula is guiding all of the boats and telling everyone where to shore them up, and the other side seems much more like abandoned. It's clearly has some wear from disuse. But immediately people gather their belongings, and you're taken up the shoreline and into the trees, down a path. You find yourselves in this large emptied out glade, this camp area. In the center of it, you see there's this stone fire pit. By the time you guys are making your way up, you already see that there are people who are dropping their belongings. Some people have gone straight to the fire pit. Some people have gone off into the woods. Others are getting comfortable right where they are. But you have a full day of merriment awaiting you. There are a couple of hot spots that people like to go to based on stories that you've heard from friends who have gone. So at the docks, there's like fishing and boating and things like that. There is the diving cliffs for the very adventurous types. A lot of people like to just straight dive off the side of this tall cliff. Watcher's Hill is really nice to go to at sunset. It's a beautiful, just absolutely serene, gorgeous view of the lake. And then, of course, there is the featured spot that is Dunmara's tower. The tower of the old story, the well-known mad sorceress herself. That this is the tower she once inhabited, for those brave enough to go by it.
I'm going to set up camp there.
Setting up camp, okay?
I too am going to set up camp.
Sounds good.
Oh, of course.
Okay. Everyone's just setting up. All right. So, yeah, you guys immediately get there. You start setting up if you have a tent or just a blanket.
I lost some notes of those 3 items that I took.
That's okay. I took notes. Oh, shoot. But I don't have that page up anymore.
That's fine.
You've got stuff. I don't think you took a
I
tent.
know that I took a fish line, so.
That's all you care about. Lucy, wherever you are, Delta's putting her stuff down by yours. And are you guys all sort of staying together? I imagine if you were, you were off with Ravast.
I'm keeping an eye on Ravast.
You don't trust him?
Not one bit.
Fair enough.
Hanging out with my new friend.
Yeah, Lucy.
Same here.
All right. So you guys are setting up your stuff. Then what we'll do?
I walk up to them. I'm starving for friendship. I'm gonna walk up to Arade and Rhea and just be like, "Hey, I saw you guys last night. It was really cool what you did. Where are you guys from?"
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, like I
Okay.
just kind of stare blankly at her, like I don't speak English.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Lucrecia, but you can call me Lucy. Okay.
I just kind of got like, I just
I'm trying to make a joke. Think of how I can make a joke here. Sorry.
I'm just my mental image.
Oh, is she gonna start summoning spirits on us?
Like, God, I hope not. I go back to like setting up my tent.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna set mine up too, and I'm gonna start setting mine up too.
And Delta kind of leans over to you and like, you picked the two friendliest people on the island you could find, huh?
Yeah, they're really cool.
What's so cool? Why them?
Well, last night, someone was trying to steal stuff. My mom's hairpin, someone's dagger, and the jewel from the raven, and they stopped them. It was really impressive. They're people I want to be friends with.
Wow, you do seem cool. But
I'm just curious, Chad, how do you pronounce your character's name once and for all?
Rhea.
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 Okay. How tall are you?
5'9".
I'm 5'11".
Oh,
So-
no, definitely.
Oh, that's so. Oh, it's like this little halfling talking up at these huge. Oh my god, that's amazing.
That's what I'm like cracking up
Oh,
at.
is
And we're just
Jensen
like-
a halfling?
Yes, she's a halfling. She's 3 foot nothing.
Yeah, like 3 feet 1 inches and a half.
1 inches and a half.
That half is very important.
I
Yes,
could
that-
fit
Yes,
you in
it
my
is.
pocket.
All right. So after this this failed conversation, so Lucy, you're setting up your stuff. Are you setting your stuff up by Rhea and Arade?
Yes.
Okay. And Delta just kind of shrugs and does the same. And as she is getting her stuff ready, Tari, you're following wherever Ravas goes.
More or less. And if I'm not following him like directly, I'm always making sure that I don't lose sight of him.
Okay, fair enough. So you guys are setting your stuff up. Delta mentions specifically, like, she hears that it's a lot of fun to go over to the, she hears that fun stuff happens up at the diving cliffs. Some cool stuff happens at the docks. And as she mentions the diving cliffs, Tara, you notice Ravas' ears perk, and he turns immediately and starts heading over there, and talks to, he's looking directly at Delta, this very beautiful girl, and saying, well, if you need an escort to the diving cliffs, I happen to know some friends who are going to be there, and it is going to be a great time. And she kind of looks at him like, you don't say? Kind of leaning forward just a little, scoop neck just a little bit out. And she looks over at Lucy. She's kind of asking her opinion, what she thinks.
I think it'd be fun, but I wouldn't trust him.
Is he the guy? Oh my god. She looks back at Ravas and says, I don't know,
Let's go.
I guess we'll think about it.
Okay, we'll go.
Let's go. I need an excuse. I don't need an excuse to embarrass this guy.
Okay. And you see, and you also notice that as Delta is kind of like flirting and curling her hair a little bit in front of Ravas, her brother is just staring daggers at him. Like if he had the kind of means to make his Ravas' head explode, he would be doing it now. But doesn't say anything as Delta follows you, Lucy, who's following Arade and Rhea. You guys are making your way out of the clearing.
As I see and I recognize that the other people have not been introduced to me yet.
Oh, you followed them?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not following them.
Okay.
But I recognize them from last night, and I let them go. I'm gonna go fishing.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
I'm gonna make sure to grab my bow before we go.
Okay. Cool.
You mean you put your weapons down?
People put their
I mean,
weapons
to put
down?
my tent up, I kind of had to.
Fair enough. All right.
Or my dagger's all. So that's.
Okay.
Bow on back.
Oh yeah,
Sword
no,
on
my
hip.
Morning Star does not leave my side.
Perfect.
That-
All right. So before we find out the adventures that are going to take place at the diving cliffs, we're going to take a 5-minute break. When we get
Yay,
back,
I need-
we're going to see what sorts of shenanigans are about to go down here.
I love choosing night shenanigans.
Choosing night shenanigans! We'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss out on this, despite technical difficulties. We got this, guys. We got this. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out on that short break. And if I didn't tell my players, hey guys, we're back from break.
Okay.
Grandpa, gotta put my pants back on.
Dang it, I hate putting pants on. It's the worst. Anyway, so we're gonna hop right back in. Just if you are just joining us, hello and welcome. I'm Melody. I'm the DM for the evening, and joining us we have Yuli Fox, we have the Chodfather, we've got Ryan, and we've got Empress Jen, making up our band of adventurers for this adventure. I know what I said. I'm a writer. I'm not a talker.
Don't make me say the words.
So they've made their way they've made their way to their destination, which is Dunmara's Isle in the center of High Falls Lake, which is in the center of High Falls Swale. So there you go. You're just in the eye of the storm here. You've made it here without too much incident, although there was a small incident back in the town, but you took care of that swiftly. And Irade learned to have a good respect, a fearful respect of her new friend, Rhea. Don't mess with that, Beige. So you guys are starting your day of adventure. Irade, Rhea, Lucy, and some of their friends have decided to go check out the diving cliffs, where some boys apparently are going to go show off their testosterone. And Tari is going to be making his way to the docks for some fishing. So we'll take those one at a time. Let's follow the larger group. We'll see where they're off to. So you guys, oops, I'm at the docks, and I shouldn't be. I should be at the diving cliffs. So you guys start heading towards the southernmost hill of this island. You leave the trail. There's a trail you're following. You leave the trail and head through some light forested area. It begins this steeper incline, and as you walk out onto this clearing at the edge of the island. You can see sharp peaks of the Tor that are dwarfed only by the Inundar Mountains themselves. And far south, you can see the shadow of the canopies of the Felden Wood. And it is, honestly, it's a really stunning sight to behold. There are some campers that are lounging.
Stunning wood, you're saying?
Stunning what?
Stunning wood?
Yes, stunning wood. There are some campers that are lounging on blankets on one end. On the other end, you see this rowdy group of boys. Well, it's boys and girls. It's a mix. But you see this rowdy group that are shrieking with laughter, slapping their wet backs of their friends who successfully climbed up the cliff face. There are...
It's co-ed tomfoolery.
What?
It's co-ed tomfoolery.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. You guys have been left alone on this island. There isn't an adult to be seen. It is just you kids. The climbers are also offered flasks, you can see. Nearly all of them immediately take them and take large swigs. And not far from the divers and climbers and pranksters pushing their friends off the side, you see that there's a group of campers that are sort of hovering over some wooden planks and tarps. And you hear what sounds like hammering and laughter. So Ravast, who is sort of leading you guys, immediately goes over towards one of those, towards that group where you hear that hammering, almost like construction, and immediately starts talking to them and pointing back to you guys. He comes back over and says, so there's all sorts of stuff we can do, but the good stuff. So my friends and I had this plan. We've been planning this for months before choosing night, and I think it's going to be really good. We've got a little race going. You guys in for that?
I don't know. The water looks a little deep. I'll sit this one out.
What are the rules?
Is it racing some water?
Well, he says it's a relay race. There's 3 legs of this race, each one testing your true strength. And if you're really going to be an adult when this is all said and done, I mean, you've got to prove that you're pretty strong and pretty quick, right? So we got 3 legs to the race. The first one is tightrope. The second one is a low crawl. And the third one is diving and climbing. And then the first one, so we'll be in
That sounds like 4
teams.
legs.
Well, we'll be in teams. It's 3. The dive and climb is the same thing. It's the same part of the race.
Climbing is the same leg.
Diving and climbing is not the same thing.
It's the same
It's in
part.
the same leg.
I know.
Come on, sweetheart. Come on. You know what I
It's
mean.
just gravity in a different direction.
She gets it, and
And
he's-
again. Don't take this away.
Oh no, you get it. You get it all. And as you speak, Rhea, Ravas just keeps stepping away from you. Just like he always wants to have like a figure at least between you and him.
Yeah, Drake.
Good night,
I'm
Trey.
going to kick him off the cliff, no matter what.
That's fair.
Dense bones. Pretty sure Chad's calling you fat, but you know, whatever.
So you see a couple of other people coming over, and they've sort of grouped together. So and 2 boys come over to Ravas, patting him on the back, and he's like, I mean, if you want to see what it looks like, we can show you first. Then maybe you won't be so chicken.
Oh no, I just like to know what I'm getting myself into before jumping in. I mean, then you don't end up looking like a idiot in front of the whole selection. And the
Nah.
whole shooting night.
We're not gonna look like idiots. We've been practicing. We've been practicing. We got the best team right here, and he points to him and these 2 other boys behind him for the race. You 2 seem like you make up a pretty good team.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay out
I'm
my
pretty-
blanket and just jump in.
Delta does the
Pretty sure
same.
this is out of character, I'm just going. I'm pretty sure the 2 of us, pointing to me and Yuli, could take these people individually with 3 arms tied behind her.
I mean, probably, but, you know.
Yeah.
They're young. They're full of that boldness of children. So you in or you out for the race?
Plus, people who are more
Just-
mature than we should be to crush their hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
Do
Because
it.
That is what growing up is about.
Crushed hopes and dreams.
Your hopes and dreams.
Fact.
So he looks at you guys and he says, are you in or you out?
I look at Ray and I'm like, I'm in.
All right.
Cool. Can we get a third?
I look over at Lucy and I'm like, hey you. Yeah, come here.
I forgot how much I'm in love with Arade.
Hey. You want to impress the girls. Come on. You can't lose.
See, I'm thinking Lucy because she's kind of tiny. She can crawl under stuff pretty well.
I see. Gotcha.
I
So
know.
the 3 girls are going to take down the guys. Love it.
Battle of the sexes! Yes! All right. So, the boys quickly assign themselves legs of the race, with one boy going to the treetop. He's going to the tightrope area, which is a little bit further into the trees. And you can sort of see like some little flags that are set up that sort of guide where things are going. Just through the tree line, you can see where they set up like. Ouch! Sorry, I burped and then it went in my nose. You can see where there are some tree branches that are set up, and like ropes that are tied across for the low crawl. And you can see Ravast parks himself right at the end of that low crawl, like he's ready to do the 3rd leg of the race. So they wait for you guys to set yourselves up in the 3 legs. So who's taking which leg of the race? There's a treetop tightrope. So you'd have, you can see just a little bit further in, one of the boys is waiting, and there's like a small kind of ladder to get you to the first branch. And they've like intricately set this up. Like you can see that it's a majority of gnomish boys, and they like intricately set up this relay race. So there's the treetop tightrope. You see where the low crawl is, and you can see where the dive is, and set up right a couple of like 10 yards away from the end of the low crawl is this. You see what looks like a slide that goes right over the side of the cliff. So who's
is it a
taking
sheer
which?
cliff?
It is a
Hey,
sheer cliff. Yeah, it's a sheer cliff, and it goes right down.
What's at the bottom?
Water. Lots and lots of water.
Are there rocks in the water?
There are not rocks in this part of the water.
No booyah. So, Arachne, what's your dex?
My dex is 3.
I'm gonna assume that this is out of character because I've never heard someone walk up and say, "Hey, what's your dex like?"
Dex.
Well, mine is also 3.
Okay. Because I was thinking I could do the tightrope, probably going to be dex, but the cliff dive and climb, it's probably going to be more strength.
Where's the smarmy bastard?
The smarmy bastard is going to be the diving portion. I figured
Okay.
you want him.
Yeah, because what's your strength? Mine's a 2.
Mine's a 1.
Okay.
Good gracious, I love waking up that way.
God.
Whew, what a rush. What a rush. My leg was falling asleep, but it's awake, I can tell you that.
Okay.
Jay Crizzle, thank you so much for that follow.
Welcome to the table.
Yeah, Ronan, I think I'm going to go to work. Like, I work with a bunch of salespeople, and I'm going to be like, so what's your communication stat?
Do you have any focuses in intelligence? Like,
persuasion.
seriously?
What's your constitution? You know what? No. I now want a everyday life RPG where it's just you go to work and you go, roll me persuasion for the sales check.
I would very much love
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying. That would be my entire life. Roll persuasion.
All right, guys, who's going where?
I guess I will take diving and sky off the cliff, then dive off the cliff.
If you can catch him.
Just a side note, could that be like an HR thing? Like if you were going to hire somebody, could you like be
Yes.
like, so in terms of like say Dungeons and Dragons, how good are you at communication?
Anything you say there. Do you want to know what I put on my resume? Weekly inspiration and weekly ingenuity and problem solving. Dungeons and Dragons.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, team building.
Team building for sure.
Like, project manager.
Irade, where are you in this race?
So I'm thinking I'm gonna do the tightrope.
Okay. Which leaves Lucy at
Lucy, what are your stats?
the low crawl.
Well, Lucy would like to do the low crawl because she is scared of heights and the water. I mean, my dexterity is 2, my strength is 1. So.
Okay.
Better at me than
I think
anyone.
this might be kind of a dex thing. Also, the kids crawl, so I feel like that would.
You are gnome. You tiny. Be able to weave.
I could
You
just
are
limbo
small.
my way
You
under
fit
it.
You should
under.
be able to crawl. Very
You fit
effective.
under crawl barrier. Crawl under chicken wire.
I limbo under chicken wire.
All right. So so Lucy is guided over to the front of the low crawl, which is about it's like 10. Oh God, I'm so bad at distances. We're gonna say it's like 10 yards of just like a really low area of just crawling through. Like they sort of like worked the ground so it's like a bit dirty. The grass has been pulled up. It's gonna be a lot of. It's not mud, but it's dirt. Irade, you are led a little bit into the woods at the front of the oh my God, words are hard. The tightrope. There it is.
Yes,
And
this
you
is
wanted to go
me,
late.
morbid.
Why am I hearing myself in an echo? Where's the sound coming from? Who's not muted?
Not me.
I hears
I'm
it.
muted.
I hears it.
Oh, that was a
Thank
normal
you
one.
for the. I believe that's a host. Okay. All right.
You know what the watermelon crawl is?
Oh,
We're
God.
gonna wiggle and jiggle and drop down to our knees.
Oh, Lordy. All right. So, Errata, you're taken to the ladder, and you go up to the top. And you see there's a platform there, and you know this very thin beam connecting some tree branches, and you can see there's 2 additional platforms a little bit ahead. And Rhea, you are waiting right at the end, right next to Ravast, at the end of the low crawl, and he shows you where you'll run, and they've explained this to you all. I'll just summarize. You'll run, go off the slide, which there is someone there who has Arcana, who has Water Arcana, who's made the slide wet, and you will do your best dive to impress the judges, which is essentially just anyone who's not racing. They're all just kind of watching you guys eagerly for the excitement. And then you will immediately start to climb back up the cliff. So, one of the boys goes over to a group of girls and whispers to them, and one of the girls stands up. She picks up her blanket and like holds it over her head, sort of like a checkered flag, and she shouts out, "Is everybody ready?" Okay, got a thumbs up. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So she says, she makes sure that she's heard by the tree line. So it's for the people who are starting the race. And she says, "On your mark, get set, and go." So, starting with Arade, this is going to be an advanced test, which means there's a threshold you need to reach before it is completed. So there is a target number like a normal test. When you roll, you'll tell me what you roll. If it is successful, I will ask you what is on your stunt die. So don't touch your dice until you're ready for your next roll. Okay?
Okay. All right.
And that'll be the same for all of you guys. So here we go. Irade, you hear the girl shout, "Go!" And you just start getting ready you start your balancing act on this very thin beam with your eyes locked onto the next platform. Please roll your dexterity and use acrobatics if you have it. You see the Nomish boy standing next to you on this platform, on a secondary platform, rather.
All right, so 17.
17? All right. What's on the stunt die?
4.
Okay. So you immediately just like perfect balance, arms out, and you just start quickly like almost Naruto style, like arms back and running, but like you know how to actually run and balance. So you start going, and you see the boy who's the boy next to you on a secondary platform on another group of trees and balancing, and he is not doing well. He's wobbling and he can't hold on to the point where he falls, just grabbing on for dear life to his beam.
He has grace of Russian boar.
Pretty much. Like he has to actually like back himself up to the platform and start again. But you, Arade, go ahead and roll that same roll. Do it again. Wow. Need some better dice. I give up on those dice.
13.
Okay, what's on the stunt die?
1.
Okay. You make it to the second platform, and you look back. You take a moment to actually look back because you heard this like small girly squeak, and you saw the boy fall again. This time, actually falling from the tree, and he has to run around to the ladder again and make his way back up the tree, still stuck on that first platform, whereas you have made it to the second. Go ahead, roll again. There we go, baby.
12.
Okay, give me just a moment. What's on the stunt die?
3.
Fantastic. All right, you like want to stop and laugh at this boy, but then you see him get his balance again and start quickly making his way to that second platform where you are, and you're like, I can gloat later. You beeline across the second beam to the third platform, no problem. You get there, and there's another ladder on your side, and you climb back down to where Lucy is waiting for you, and you give her the go-ahead to start running. And the boy that's that's standing by her at the low crawl looks like devastated that these girls are moving so fast, and his friend is only just now getting to the second platform. So Lucy, I need you to go ahead and start your crawl. Give me a Constitution and use stamina if you have it.
Damn it.
Oh, 6, 16.
16?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. What is on your stunt die?
6.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Lucy, just like they thought, you being low, very short, you're very low to the ground, you throw down and you just start crawling like you've never crawled before. Like, in your head, you're imagining on the other side of this is the end of choosing night. It's your freedom. It's your adulthood. You get to be free, and you start crawling like your life actually depends on it. And in moments, you're like halfway down this track, more than halfway through this low crawl. So focused, you don't see that the other boy is also now starting his leg of the race. So, Lucy, go ahead, roll your Constitution stamina again, if you, please. Oops.
15.
Where's Constitution? Great. 15, what's on the stunt die?
4.
4, awesome. All right, you in a breeze make it to the end of the low crawl. Your front is pretty grimy, but you're just glowing with excitement. You're just you can't believe how well you did. Like, you knew you had it in you, but you didn't really know you had it in you. You proved them wrong. To which you like run up and like give Rhea like a high five so that she knows it's her turn to start her leg of the race. What?
I tried to do the high five and I slapped her in the thigh instead.
Exactly. So
Low five?
you can low five if you want to. Want to give her a low five?
Well, I mean, her high five would be a low five.
Her high five would you be like half kneeled over.
Me bending over to a child going, "You did it, champ."
Exactly, and you take a moment to do that. Just because Ravast is standing next to you, his jaw half dropped at how quickly she moved. So like you'll take that moment to gloat, and you have time. But now it's time to start your leg of the race. So you start sprinting. Go ahead and it's an easy sprint. You start running. You make it to the ladder. Hang on just a moment. Okay. You make it to the ladder just as you hear some more footsteps coming behind you, and you know Ravast is now on his way. You can hear him grunting as he's trying to catch up. You slide onto the ladder. Give me a strength. Is it strength? I hope I wrote that right. Strength jumping, if you have the jumping focus. Otherwise, just strength.
That is 8, 16.
16? Gee, what did your 3 dice
Two
say?
stunt die. 6.
I mean, what was your dice total?
14 with a +2 to strength.
Dang! That was a really good roll. All right. So a total
4 on
of...
the stunt die.
We kicking ass.
What's on the stunt die? 6?
Yeah, but
4.
A 4. Okay, perfect. Beautiful. So you you jump and you do this like, you don't know how you did it. You did this like cool, starts to be a like a flip, and then you curl in to do this.
Are you describing my dive?
Yeah, the dive.
I'm gonna start out with swan.
You go for it. You describe your dive.
Swan, then about half a second later, tucking into a double somersault, then entering straight down.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And it is just perfection. It's just gorgeous as you dive into the water. No splash. No splash. 10 out of 10.
Lucy and I hold up like 10 out of 10.
Yes. And it's beautiful. And you make it into the water. Yep, perfect. And you start swimming towards the shore, towards the cliff face. We did a thing. Thank you. I think that said Dark Horse. No. Dark Horse, thank you so much for the host.
Hi, Dark Horse.
So Rhea, you start swimming towards the shore. As you're swimming, you feel a strange like tugging on your leg. But you don't see anything in the water. So you keep swimming. You keep making your way back to the cliff. And then the water starts to kind of bubble around you.
This
And
is gonna be fun.
just as you're sort of stopping to notice, and you see another splash. You see Ravast splashing down. It's not nearly as nice of a splash as yours, or as a dive as yours. But he makes his way into the water and finally comes up, and he also starts swimming towards the cliff. But he also stops. And you realize that the water around you seems to be moving, not just waves, but almost in like a circular pattern. What are you doing?
Well, there's two things I've always been taught. This is out of character. Is that A, two victims are always worse than one. And B, all my weapons are up top, so I can't do shit here.
You took your bow off?
You
What?
Use the whirlpool?
I'm gonna nudge my opponent from the crawling where he's like, see, I knew there was something up with that water.
And as you're deciding what to do, the water starts spinning a little faster around you and around Ravast, you're noticing.
Actually, that was me deciding. It's just like, looking there, look at the water. Nope, one victim is always better than two.
Okay.
I'm climbing up.
First give me a Constitution swimming. I think swimming is a Constitution, I guess.
It is.
Okay.
That is... Yeah, it is Constitution. That is 15.
15? All right, no problem. You break, you're feeling the tug, and you see that the water is sort of darkening where you are.
What happened?
But you start swimming, and you break past the edge of this circling whirlpool. And as you break out of it, you notice the water behind you starts to calm, and you start swimming to the cliff face. To your side, the water is still like spinning.
I'm sorry, 15. What happens for trips?
I
can't math.
It's just a matter of if you have doubles, you get stunt points.
If you get trip sixes though, it's a
Trip
legendary
sixes, something
thing.
amazing happens.
I got trip 4s.
Nah, that's not too amazing.
That's not fair.
But yeah, you break past this, but to your left, where a Ravast was he is currently struggling against this whirlpool as you touch the cliff face. Are you still climbing?
Is this a wooden ladder?
It's just the rocks. It's just the side of the cliff.
Damn. Well, considering the competition is effectively screwed at this point, I'm going to yell up. Does anyone have anything that floats?
Does anyone have anything that floats?
Buoyant.
People start to gather around as they hear you yelling up to them. And
Are there those kids that were kind of off to the side and building, like, they had, like, planks of wood, right?
yeah, the boys who set up that slide. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab some planks of wood that would float and throw them down.
Okay. You do that. You
two, so one.
Okay, yeah, you do that, and it splashes down into the water, but kind of bobs there. Ravast sees it and like starts swimming as hard as he can towards this new goal he can see. Okay, and he grabs on and starts kicking like a baby learning how to swim, holding on to this plank of wood, and he breaks free of that strange whirlpool. And it also just dissipates around him as if nothing had ever happened. It's just regular waves lapping up against the shore. And
Okay,
he
gonna continue climbing then.
okay, he's not moving. He's like he's looking back like he's a little bit freaked out. But you're climbing. Give me a
Okay.
strength climbing if you're climbing.
Actually, scratch that.
Okay.
I'm gonna yell at him, "Move, you idiot!"
To which it being you, he will do that. He breaks out of the stupor and starts to make his way to the cliff as well and starts climbing.
Okay, now we're gonna continue climbing.
Okay, go ahead.
11, 14. Yeah, 16.
16, what's on the stunt die?
3.
Okay. All right, you start climbing, and because you allowed him to get to an even ground, you guys are sort of even. But he's still just a smidge behind you as he also starts grabbing the rocks that are a little bit slick, but he's able to get a hold. Go ahead, roll again.
14.
14, all right.
3 on the sun die.
Oh, what are we doing? This is strength climbing. Strength. Okay. Yeah, you start climbing, and Ravast can't seem as you get to this part of the rocks, they seem a little bit slicker, and he almost loses his grip, but just manages to hold on, but doesn't make very much progress on his way up. Go ahead, roll again.
Out of character, real quick.
Mhm.
Does anyone here have rope?
Rope.
No, I thought about that.
Ryan doesn't remember.
Yeah, fishing line.
Yeah, fishing line, but no rope.
You fish for Ravast.
He is
Nowhere near
wait,
you.
Did you say he was a gnome?
Who? No, Ravast is human.
Damn it.
His friends are gnomish.
Ooh, yay.
How'd you do?
18.
Dang.
5. 5 on the sun die.
That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, you now that you sort of see Ravast is out of danger, but his hands are really shaky and he cannot get a grip on this damn cliffside. But you start just crawling as if it were nothing, and before you know it, you are at the top. Pulled yourself up over the side of the cliff, and because everyone had crowded around when you were yelling earlier, they're all there to just start cheering, and they just burst into applause for you. And it takes another minute or two before Ravast can make his way up the side of the cliff, where a couple of his buddies go over there and kind of pat his back, just glad he's okay. He kind of comes over to you, Rhea. There's still a person's width between you guys, and just says, "That was good. That was good. You got some good legs there." And he sort of gives you a little like a eyebrow pop, like he can't help but try to be flirtatious no matter what he does. He says, "Congratulations."
I really want to just go get good scrub.
Say it.
I don't want to say it.
Say it.
I'm just gonna look at her and just goes. She's just gonna go. Yeah, this was just another Tuesday for me.
Just another Tuesday. He kind of looks at you like seriously? Like he doesn't say it, but his face just screams like seriously as he's like panting and like his arms are just flopped at his side like they're so sore now. And he looks at all three of you girls and just is saying like, you know, he's applauding you guys as well with everyone else. And he's like,
look at him and just go,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I spent the last 12 years under the tutelage of a Imperial Ranger.
To which he...
I don't know what they would actually be called. That's just what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, I mean, there are people... Oh no, we lost Jen. Jen, come back.
Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me.
We're gonna go to the standby screen as we wait for Jen.
Sean's fault.
As we wait for Jen to come back. But yeah, he applauds you guys. He at that, because yeah, there are people who are specially trained through the Peak Guard and through the Armory Guild. So you're the person who trained you would have mentioned the Armory Guild and how they sort of control all people like that and train people like that. And so yeah, there are people like that. That makes perfect sense. And to which you sort of see a blush come on his cheeks as he like nods at you like, that's really impressive. That's something else. You're not a typical kind of girl for sure. And drinks, just immediately he reaches into his bag and his friends are in their bags and they pull out bottles of this dark liquid and there's just like drinks all around. So if you guys want to partake, you are welcome to partake of those beverages to congratulate yourselves. Jen's back.
Reaches in bag, pulls out the vodka.
Yes, vodka.
I was about to say, I think I'm gonna grab just me and Rhea.
Oh, you two gonna share? That's cute.
Yeah, I'll share.
I like you two. You two are cute. Delta is over there as well, like applauding.
We're gonna go make friendship bracelets.
Nice. Lucy, are you having anything to drink? I'm just curious.
Well, I'm gonna be curious and take like a small sip of something like, no, thank you, I'm good.
Whereas Delta takes hers, like smells it, and it's also like really foul to her, but just like kicks it back with the others and just like continues applauding.
Alright, and I'm gonna slap Lucy on the back. Be like, good job.
What is she, your pet?
Slide forward. Thank you.
I love it.
I brought her into this. Be like,
Yeah, she kicked ass.
good job, kid.
Good
He's gonna look at her and just go, you did good.
Love it.
Thank you.
I was like, should I like throw my jersey at her?
Love.
Here you go, kid.
All right.
Finishes chugging vodka, takes off jersey and just goes, here you go, kid.
So you guys continue your merriment, and let's go over to, you guys can take a couple minutes.
Real quick, funny thing about that commercial
What?
with Mean Joe Green, they didn't tell him how many takes they were going to be doing, so he ended up chugging something like 14 Cokes in a row.
Oh no. I'd die. I would actually die. Alright, let's go over to the docks where Tari made his way with his fishing gear ready to go.
This is the boring part of the
Oh
story.
wait, question.
Yeah.
Real quick before we do that. Were we given food?
No, unless you packed your own. You guys are adults now.
I'm gonna go.
I'm
gonna shoulder up my bow and track.
Yeah, I was about to say, my original thought was to look at Rhea and say, want to go hunting on the way up to Dunmar Tower?
Well, Melody never acknowledged this, but I said I was making camp at Dunmar's Tower.
Oh, that I did not hear. No. I mean, yeah, you're welcome to if you want to do that. I'll explain more about that if
But
you're
I
heading
mean,
that way.
If everyone else, it depends on what everyone else is doing. Because I was just going to say that. I was saying that just to be me.
Fair enough. You can if you want to. You might get a couple of strange stares if you're taking your gear over there, but I mean, you can if you want to, or if you want to just be in the group. You let me know after we take care of Tari. So Tari,
Yeah.
you shoulder your stuff. You head on down back towards the docks. The boats are all tied. Well, some of the boats have been taken out. There are people who are boating. There are people who are fishing, which is where you have your eye. Oops, I lost my notes.
Oh no!
Hey, I found my notes.
Hooray!
So there's you go back down to the docks. The dock itself is a few 100 feet long, although, and you remember there's the one side that's kind of run down from disuse.
Right.
Most of the boats are tied up along the maintained side, while others are out in the water. There are campers who are using the boats for racing, for fishing, all manners of shenanigans because they can. There's about 2 yards of like stony beach until the shore becomes the grassy area where you are, that leads into the trees and that dirt path. And there's stones that lay on the beach that sort of appear to have like pieces of fabric tied around them. There's like a whole cluster of these stones. By the edge of the dock, there's this loud commotion going on. There's this cheering and laughing. Everyone there seems to be circled around a few very impressive-looking campers. There are some others who are kind of less impressed by what's going on in the water, and they're sitting along the more broken-down side of the docks, sort of skipping stones. You see some of them have stones in their hands that they seem to be like working with, like making some more of those stones that have the wrapped something on them. And again, there are some people who are kind of just lounging and just enjoying the weather.
Yes, fine, I did.
It's super weird. It's super duper weird. All right. So that's sort of the scene you see. Very, very relaxed in some areas, very commotion heavy in others.
All right. I think I'm gonna go over to one of the more relaxed areas and take my boots off and leave them by like a tree.
Okay.
And
the tree line is further back up there.
Well, maybe like a little shrub bush is like
Sure.
any kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna like kind of like wade into the water a little bit and set up my fishing line, fasten it to one of my arrows on my longbow.
All right. So you start to do this, getting ready to start your arrow fishing. And are you over by like are you still by the docks? Are you like
wherever the calmer?
It'd be by
quietest
everything
area.
on the maintained side of the docks is where the boats are and where the commotion is happening.
Yeah.
You'd be on the side where it's a little more
little
like
less-
broken
less
down.
maintained,
Yeah, a little dilapidated. You start to wade out there, and even there you can still hear all the commotion. And there's another boy out there. He actually took one of the boats a little further out, and you can see a boy out there, and he's just keeps shaking his head and patting his head like he's just so frustrated. You can see why. It's very the waters are rough still because there's a bunch of swimming. You see it looks like some kind of race is going on the other side. There's a lot of splashing, and you can tell like it's not going to be easy to catch fish around here just because of all the noise and all the mess. Are you still going to try
Is there
here?
a way to can I like make my way like farther away from shore, like pick up my boots and like walk further?
Yeah, you can
down
kind of get
shore
away
to
from
where
everybody.
where it's like quieter.
Sure.
And stuff like
Yeah.
off the beaten path.
You make your way. You make sure that you're sort of starting to round the beach. It's not like a steep corner, obviously, but like you're making your way around till you can hear them less and less and less. You're sort of alone in this area, and the water's definitely calmer here.
Cool.
Very quiet.
Cool. So I reset myself and start looking for fishes.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception searching. I would say that with more confidence so you believe me. Do you have a searching focus?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't have any perception focuses, which is
Oh
weird.
my.
Yeah.
Some rogue.
11.
Yeah. What kind of rogue are you?
11? Okay.
Hey, shut up on the other side of the island.
You look around, and you see at least a couple of shadows. Little wiggling shadows.
Okay. I try to like focus on the biggest one that I see and
Shoot. Roll your accuracy. Roll your combat. You're in combat with fish. Roll initiative with the fish. don't.
Alright, that's not the best thing in the world. That's 14.
I mean, to catch a big old fish
Yeah,
with
14.
an arrow? Yeah, you let loose the arrow, and you hear a nice psh as it's going into the water, and a little bit of a tug, and then not much of anything. Like it's not fighting.
Oh, that's cool. So, alright, so I pull the line out. Is there a fish on the end of the...
There's it's not like an enormous prize-winning fish, but it's that little wiggling one. Just a little baby one. No, it's not like a little teeny thing. It's kind of like a goldfish.
Oh.
But no, you were looking for a big one. It's bigger than a goldfish. It's like I can't describe it to you because you didn't see my grandmother's fish, but it's like it's like a goldfish that got real big.
Alright.
But still not like a giant catch. It's like that's a snack.
I knew that was going to come back to haunt us in chat.
That's my
What?
What you
Here's
said.
the thing.
Not much of
Back to
anything.
shore, the fish that was this big is going to turn to this big, and by the end of the night, it's going to be this big.
Well, considering I have no sense of size, yeah, maybe. So you got a
That's
fish.
the way fishermen are.
Alright, I'm going to take it. I'll set it down,
Okay.
and I'm going to try and find another one.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, roll.
This is to launch, right?
This is to, well, you're spotting another fish. You
Okay.
need perception.
For 14.
There's some more shadows in the water just going about.
That's 14.
There you go. You got yourself a second fish. You catch your eye. It's about the same size as the other one. Ping! With ease that you are well versed in this sort of game hunting kind of thing. And you hear that perfect sound, feel that little tug, and then you can start reeling it back in.
But this time, does like the guy in the boat, like, is he like coming across?
He's
This way?
he
Or is
didn't.
he still, like,
He's not
away?
an expert at hunting. He's
Okay.
sort of you don't know anything about him, but clearly he doesn't seem like an expert in hunting because he hasn't moved his boat. He's still trying to figure out where the hell all the fish are and why the other kids won't shut up and let him fish.
How does one vote? No, that's what he's asking himself.
Oh
How
yeah,
does
pretty
one
much.
vote?
Come on, fish.
Man.
You going again?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
All right, roll. If we have to do this advanced,
Sorry,
we might have to.
I look at the score. Yeah.
Oh dear. If you're gonna continue to fish for a while, I'll have you
Yeah.
do an advanced
Okay.
test. So go ahead, roll the perception. Just we'll
Yeah.
do this as how many you see. I'm pretty sure you can catch them.
What's that? 17.
What's the stunt die? 4.
4.
Okay. Yeah, you spend some time and you're sitting there and you're just like, this is too easy. What am I even? Why don't they just come to me? And you're just sitting there like,
You get it.
yeah, like you could feed a village the way you're going. Go ahead, roll again.
What?
Your perception. You're looking for the fish.
13. With 3 stunt points.
It's 3 on the stunt die.
Yes.
Okay. What was the first one? 4? The first one was 4 on the stunt die? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, it doesn't take very much. What'd you roll? 14 total?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
13.
13. Yeah. It's starting to get a little troublesome. You wonder if maybe you're interrupting the waters as you're doing this. Maybe you're moving a little too quick, and it's getting a little less, and you may need to sort of adjust your place in the water. But you get a couple more.
Cool. How many fish do I have now total?
You've got you got 6 fish.
And they're all like roughly the same.
Yeah, not bad size, but they're not like enormous.
All right. I'll like kind of string them up with the fishing line onto one thing and start making my way back.
Okay, you start heading back towards where?
Did I say 6?
Yeah, 6 fish.
6 fish.
So you start making your way back towards the more populated area of the beach, and as you're going, you're passing by. There's a couple of more people who've started to sit down in a quieter area, and you see them wrapping that fabric around some fabric or something around these stones. just kind of minding their own business. Some people are sort of whispering, like, with their eyes shut, almost like they're making a prayer or a wish as they're wrapping it. So you walk past them and head back towards the more populated area. As you're passing the that more dilapidated part of the dock, there are some people who were sitting up there doing that same thing with the stones, and you suddenly hear this scream, a couple of screams, like of surprise, as part of the dock gives way, like the worse off planks, and they fall into the water, and there's some giggling and some laughing as they fall into the water, and then there's another surprised scream from someone who's in the water. One of their friends was pulling them up, and then all of a sudden seemed to have a lot of difficulty pulling them out of the water. So you see from where you're standing, you had started to pass it. From where you're standing, you just see someone dangling in the water, their friend trying to pull them up and having a lot of difficulty. And the person who is being helped seems very panicked.
I shout, "Get good, scrubs!" I'm kidding.
I wish you would.
Alright, so I'm gonna go with the, alright, I'll set my stuff aside, kind of like hide it a little bit so that I know where it is.
By the shrub where you kept your boots?
Yeah.
Sure.
A shrub, where I kept the boots, take my boots off again, and I go running over to try and help him.
Give me perception seeing.
That is an 89 and 11.
Okay, you start running over, and you notice as you're going, you understand, like, you know, the sun is relatively high. I mean, it's getting on in the day, but the beneath the dock, you know, you expect a normal shadow. Beneath the dock, it almost looks like dusk, where this person's feet are dangling, and the water is perfectly still as you're heading over. So you start to run over, and you go up there, you help grab their arm and pull them up. Okay, give me strength, might, if you have it.
Hey, that's trip 5s.
Nice.
That's 17 total.
Okay, so you pull the guy, you kind of like shove the other guy aside, like, what are you doing? Move over, and you push him aside with your burly dwarf arm, and you take hold of his arm, and you yank, and you do feel some resistance. There is some significant resistance there, but you manage to pull, and he comes, the kid who was dangling there comes sort of like almost launched out of the water, and you look down, and the water is moving again.
So it was calm when I was pulling him out.
It was,
Despite
and it was calm on your way
his,
running.
Despite his panicking.
The water was perfectly calm, and it looked like dusk. That's what you noticed.
It wasn't like bright.
But now that he's
no
out,
light, there was no light glistening off of it. It was just matte and calm.
And now that you've pulled him out, and there's that hole in the dock.
It's a whopper.
And that hole in the that's your biggest catch of the day. In the water.
And I say that too. Dejectedly.
That's so sad. The sun is now beating down, and the water is like crystalline again because there's now sunlight interrupting the shadows. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, that was weird. You okay?
He kind of looks around. It's this small kid, probably one of the younger ones who's even at choosing night, and he's looking around like I'm fine. I'm good. Thanks, man.
Like are his legs covered in like mud or anything, or is it?
They're just wet from being in the water.
Something like grab you, or it was.
I don't know. I thought maybe someone was like grabbing my legs or something, like they were playing a prank. Like, pranks aren't funny, man. I'm just here to have a good time, right? Like everybody else. Pranks aren't funny.
All right.
Kind of mopes.
Somebody's prank.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Sure thing.
I'm Pell.
Tari. I almost said Ryan.
Nice. Thanks, Tari.
Sure.
Maybe I'll see you at the bonfire tonight.
Yeah, well, I just caught some fish, so I'm gonna go
Oh, that'll-
back up there to prep them for.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
I'm sure that there's a bunch of kids here who don't know anything about hunting or fishing or.
He kind of raises his
Food,
hand sadly.
Yeah, I got you, kid.
Thanks. See you later. And you make your way back up to the campsite?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
With all my stuff.
With your stuff, yes. All right. Rhea and Arade and Lucy, where were you guys headed?
We're going stalking.
Stalking?
Sorry, I mean we're going tracking. We're hunting down some
we're
game.
going-
Fantastic. All right. So as you are, and this is for you as well, Tari. As you are headed down, you're headed down the path towards the campsite, and you three, you're heading back into the woods to go do some hunting, and you notice. Give me just a moment. Let me tell you exactly what you notice.
I don't know what Pine Lord means, but I have a feeling it's shrouded in lies.
It's probably. Oh yeah, probably. He's probably talking about freaking getting over it or whatever. Screw you guys. You're walking in a relatively a similar direction towards the others without kind of realizing, as they are stalking through the woods looking for doing what they're doing and you're doing what you're doing. And you notice this kind of strange mist starts to kind of fill the woods around you. You're not sure how far it stretches, but it's there and it's kind of blocking your path a little bit. It's almost like someone suddenly just like
Fog machine.
yeah. If that was a thing, maybe someone has some kind of arcana and they're starting to pull pranks on you, and you start. You're now surrounded by this strange mist in the forest, and you hear something. You hear something that you, Tari, heard before.
Crying.
Kind of like a weeping kind of sound. And whatever it is, it may not know your name. It may not know who you are, but you kind of feel like a beckoning. There's some kind of beckoning towards you, and the three of you feel the same. There's something kind of calling out to you in the woods, and it could easily be a prank, but there's something kind of calling out to you. You hear.
Anybody knows who I am here?
What do you want to do?
Oh,
This is for all of you guys.
This problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go investigate it.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are surrounded.
Ready myself and assess the situation.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll perception seeing to see if I can.
I'm
Seeing,
gonna roll perception hearing.
hearing. Okay.
Wimps.
Tara, you just start walking towards wherever you kind of feel this whatever calling to you. You start moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There's reason for that.
Sure.
13.
Okay.
That is 15.
15. Lucy,
My
were you
dice
rolling
like
something?
29.
I was gonna roll perception hearing, but someone else already did that, so I don't know if it's like.
You can as well.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't roll super well, so.
Let's see. Hearing. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That was not good.
All right. So, Irade, you start looking through this fog, this strange mist that appeared around the three of you as you were making your way away from the diving cliffs, ready, all excited about what just happened and eager to get some food in your bellies, or at least get ready for some food in your bellies. This mist appeared, and you're looking around. You feel like you really don't see much of anything. Maybe shadows here and there. You can't really tell if it's the trees or a passerby who might also be stuck in this strange whatever this is and wherever it came from. Rhea, you hear this sort of... You hear the strange mix of sounds. There's a little bit of what sounds like crying, some soft tears, soft whimpering. You you also hear just like rustling of trees, natural sounds that you'd find in a forest. But more than anything, you guys just feel something. Just it wants you. It's hoping, praying, wants you to sort of just walk, just go.
I'll listen to it.
Okay, start walking.
I stop her.
You stop her.
Thanks.
I'm gonna hold my arm out and just go, no.
Okay. Lucy.
I mean, we're on an island that they dump.
I wanted to stealthily walk towards wherever it's pulling me.
Do you actually want to stealth?
Yeah.
Okay. You roll stealth. Irade, can you repeat that? It cut out again.
I was just gonna say, well, Arade would say, we're on an island they dumped a bunch of children on. What is there to be afraid of?
I'm just gonna look at her and just go, you didn't see what happened at the cliffs.
I mean,
Okay.
I kind of silently, go along with her judgment.
Okay. Lucy, how'd you do in your stealth?
16.
Okay. Yeah. No one kind of notices you just kind of whoop, away from the two tall folks, heading towards whatever is kind of beckoning. And you end up bumping into someone or something in this mist where you can't see. And Tara, you feel something very small hit your leg.
I yank my dagger out of wherever it is sheathed and turn to face it.
And you come across little Lucy that you saw the night before, kind of stabilizing herself after running smack into you in her stealth. You didn't see her coming because she was stealthed.
She's a little bit shorter than
I
me.
see him raise the knife towards me and I just go, oh my god, don't kill me!
But she didn't get very far, and the mist starts to kind of dissipate around you, and you realize, Tari, you're with the other. You're not far off from Rhea and Irade, and then here's Lucy here in front of you, and you're in this part of the woods where there's another clearing. And there's this other small clearing here, and just through the tree lines, you can make out what appears to be a little wooden hut in this clearing. It kind of looks run down a bit, like it hasn't been used in ages, like paint peeling, and there's this kind of broken chimney.
Like, can I see the normal path from where I am?
You are not where you started. Like, you know.
I'm in a completely different area.
You are in a different part of this.
But
of
I
this
am with the other three?
Yes.
Okay.
And you see this little hut in the clearing.
That's weird.
Can we see
The
that?
end.
Yes, if you guys are now also within line of sight of this. You see the edge of the trees and you can see into this clearing.
Tori just kind of like whispers under his breath, "Love shack, baby, love shack."
And there's a strange little cloud that appears by your side, like that same mist, and you just feel this slap across your cheek, and then the mist dissipates again.
I deserve that.
Pulls your beard.
So what do you guys do?
So, I'm gonna look at Aradne and look at the two people inside this clearing and just go, we're moving towards them slowly. And then look at them and just go, don't do anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna ready my bow, and
I'm also gonna ready my bow.
Okay.
like very slowly walk towards them, trying to like keep an eye on my peripheral vision for anything.
Sure. You don't see anything
We're gonna try and be
immediately.
observant.
Okay. Are you guys just standing there? Or are you walking
No,
somewhere?
we're slowly.
Well, yeah, we're slowly walking.
Okay. So you slowly... Are you stealthing? Or
I
you
would
just...
say stealthing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just slowly making your way.
That's not startling anything.
Okay. So you make your way into this clearing and you see this hut a little clearer. And it appears to be like a... It kind of looks like, based on this other broken down, almost unrecognizable structure outside, it kind of looks like it might have been an old smithy. It's like you see like old anvil stone pieces outside. You see broken tools kind of scattered about. It looks like it might have been an old smithy.
Oh, I know what a smithy looks like.
I do.
Yeah.
Can I point it out to everyone?
Point what out?
Does everyone know what that's supposed to be? Or can I be like, oh, I recognize some of these tools?
Yeah, you can.
As do I.
Yeah. Say what you want.
Hey guys, I recognize some of these. This stuff. This looks a little familiar. Old, but familiar.
I look at him and I go, I recognize this too. This is a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
I'm gonna check for traps.
Okay.
It is gay.
Perception.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Perception.
Blair Witch Project.
I need that list back. Can I have that list back? I think I gave it to you. How'd you do?
Not good.
Okay.
That's a 10.
Okay. Yeah, you look around. I mean, you're relatively familiar, and you know when you're very familiar with something, you tend to gloss over it. Like, yeah, I know that. It doesn't seem like there's anything dangerous there.
Looks pretty clean. Gonna go
There's like an open,
cautiously,
like front door. There's it's not open. You see where like there's a front door into whatever this hut is.
I'm gonna go like look around slowly, like looking into whatever windows.
Mhm.
Is there anything that I like?
Through these old dusty windows. They're not broken, but they're old and dusty. You can peek inside and you see it's entirely dark. Only the sunlight kind of going through what little it can. There's...
Can I, like, do one of these? Can my dark sight, like, see?
Yeah, it's not a problem. Vision's not a problem. It's just a dusty on the
Oh,
inside.
we lost Jen.
Jen, no, come back. You're gonna miss the good stuff.
Don't you want this, baby?
All right, I'm gonna go back to the screen just while we wait for Jen to get back. Let me know when Jen gets back though, because I have to look at my notes. So, you notice as you're peeking inside, you see like, you see the old like cracked. No, that was outside. Cracked stone, rounded, piled up cylinder. Yeah, that old thing. You see like rusted pairs of tongs inside. There's a small room. You see a not broken anvil inside. There's a fireplace. You notice there's some chairs. One of them is broken. The anvil it's old. It's rusted. There's this old fire pit covered in like you think you see some soot, some grime. Yeah, I mean it's a little hard to see everything because you're peeking from outside.
So it's just much more junk.
It looks like some more junk from what you can see from the window.
Interesting. I relay that information back to them. Like,
Okay.
just looks like a storage shed.
A
I'm gonna
smithy.
tell
That's
him,
snippy.
great, wait there for us.
You're not gonna come over here, are you?
No. Well, yes, I am. I just want us to keep going. I just want us to all go in together.
It's a human trap laid by bear.
It's a bear trap laid by humans.
They're very cunning.
Those bears, those wily bears.
Wily bears. You
like-
won't get me this time.
It's like, why are you afraid of bears? Because bears can run over 30 miles an hour. There's a zoo 30 miles from here. Bears can smell fear, and I fear them.
And I
They're like, all right,
do the
crazy
math.
lady. I'll be over here waiting for you.
Okay. What do you guys do?
Sorry while we're waiting. Am I walk with
That's
me?
up to you. Tari walked forward. It's up to you if you followed.
Oh, I followed him.
Okay.
I'm just going like, hi.
So Tari and Lucy are over by the hut.
So I'll just kind of voice out loud of like, I'll go check it out, and also just kind of wonder like, why would they need a storage shed on this island? So I'll kind of make my way toward the shed to kind of check it out.
Okay. And I mean, if you take a peek inside through the window, you see the same thing that Tari saw.
I'm moving over to join him. Join them.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll a perception seeing
Same here.
to see if like anything, like if anyone's been there recently, if
Sure.
it looks like the door's been opened at
Yeah.
all.
Go ahead.
Ew.
Best choosing night ever.
15.
Okay. What are you gonna rate?
Oh, I think my thing froze.
Oh.
12.
12. Okay. Yeah, you guys look around. There seems to be a nice coating of just dust. Certainly on the windows. You look at the door. I don't know. It looks sort of rusted. Like it turns. The knob turns. But you sort of feel it giving you a little bit of there's some give there. And otherwise it looks pretty much abandoned for a very long time. It's kind of hard to say how long. Very long time.
I don't know if this is a thing. Would I be able to like roll like intelligence or something to see if I have ever read anything about this island or heard any stories? See if there's anything that maybe might just seeing this might make me think of it.
Stories about what?
Like just about the island itself, like anything that I've read or heard about it. Maybe somewhere along those stories I heard something about a cabin or just someone
Sure.
that lived there or something.
Yeah, you can roll. Yeah, because I mean, you guys have heard all sorts of stories about the island. Not having seen it or visited it yourself, mainly about Choosing Night, because this is where Choosing Night takes place. And everyone's heard the legends of the Mad Sorceress and her island. People know. I mean, there's all sorts of stories, each one crazier than the last. But you can roll intelligence, see if anything's been said about any kind of hut or smithy or whatever, what have you.
Question.
Sure.
You said this was here long time. Are we talking like era long time or happy ending time? Or long time?
It's kind of hard to say, but I mean, the way that it's rusted,
I would probably say it's been here a very long time.
very, very long time.
Many happy endings.
I rolled a 16.
16?
Yep.
Of all the stories you've heard, and you've heard of many, you particularly, Lucy, have heard many stories. You don't recall anything about a particular, like, Dunmar didn't seem to favor some kind of smithy, didn't seem to be, it doesn't seem to, at least it's not a prominent part of any of the stories. You knew that there were people who visited her on the island, maybe, people she might have manipulated, things she might have seen or said, but it didn't seem to involve this.
Okay.
Is there any kind of like legend that I would have heard of from Aging Tam of Denara and the Smithy? No.
Probably would have heard the same.
Okay.
So what are you guys doing? Gonna walk away and ignore the whole thing?
I'm gonna knock.
Okay. You don't get an answer.
Hmm.
It's very quiet. And another little layer of dust kind of off the door.
I don't think anyone's home. I'm gonna kick the door in.
Just kick it. Sweet. Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Wise. Yeah, because Rhea kicks that door and
I go, oh shit.
it kind of crumbles off its hinges. Just poof.
Now, is that
smacking the
Rhea
ground, and
destroyed
another
the door.
layer of dust kind of goes into the
Rhea
air.
destroyed.
Rhea, smash!
It's gonna be a fun party.
Yeah, choosing night, 3 sessions.
I look up at Rhea and I'm just like, normally someone asks before you want to do a B&E.
Nah.
It's only a summary offense.
All right, do you go in?
All right. I'm gonna step over the now smashed door and rummage inside to see it.
Okay. So you see the same things that you saw earlier: the little fireplace, the broken this chair that seems to be broken among the other chairs, the anvil, the fire pit, sooty and grimy. You see another chair that's tipped against the wall over a rug with like old, like ancient burn marks on it.
I checked the rug.
Okay.
Check under it.
You lift up the rug, and there's a floor with less dust on it.
I put the chair back on the floor. I just
Let me finish! You tip the chair back, and now the chair is untipped. It's very, it's not decorated in there. It's very plain, very basic. I mean, it's like you'd expect an old smithy to be. Not even like old, not even like places where old weaponry or whatever was created in there might have been. The only thing that's on the wall remaining is an empty picture frame. This thick, tarnished silver frame, and you can sort of see this kind of beigey leather backing behind it, or through it, rather.
Where I picked up the rug, I'm gonna knock.
Okay, there's like a... Sounds like you're tapping on wood.
Does it sound solid or hollow, though?
It... roll perception.
Perception hearing?
Mm-hmm.
12.
I mean, it sounds like a wooden floor. Sounds pretty solid.
Well, there at least isn't a basement here.
I'm gonna take the picture frame off the wall.
Okay. You take this picture frame off the wall, sort of inspecting it. It's not heavy. You sort of expected it to be a little heavier. And as you're looking at it, and you turn it around, and on the back of it, you notice that there is this little, there's this little indentation in it. Oh, wheel. All right, you're gonna have to give me 5 because I have to run to the bathroom.
oh.
BRB, guys. We'll be right back. sound. Oh, hello, welcome back. Sorry, guys. Super quick break. We have a wheel. Who redeemed the wheel?
Hi.
Oh, hi. Where's my wheel? Where's my life right now? Wheel, spin. A little choppy for the wheel. What's going on, wheel? Ooh, no reward. I'm so sorry, my friend. Good try, good try. Good, very good try. All right.
The, like, Grace is right.
Yeah, right. Boop, 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 boop. So yes, Errate, you notice this little indentation, maybe an inch or two long. It seems like it could fit something in it, like something was maybe taken from it. This little indentation in the back. You might even say it was like a purposely cut size.
Okay, so. Alright, so I'm still a little confused. So it's like cut out.
It's an indentation. It's kind of like it's almost perfectly like a hexagonal kind of shape.
Okay.
And like
Something in there.
like faceted, and almost like faceted.
Very meta. I'm gonna look around and see here that looks like it might fit it.
Sure. Go ahead. Roll perception searching.
I'm gonna help her out.
You may also roll.
I will too.
Go for it.
Yeah, I feel like I would have shown it. So,
Anyone who's rolling, just let me know what you rolled.
15.
15. Okay.
8.
Nice.
16.
Okay. Irade and Rhea, you guys start scouring this place. Just like nothing is off limits. You're moving things around. You're lifting the rug again. You're going through the broken remains of the chairs. You're looking at the old fireplace. And as you're going through the old fireplace, you see this. You see a ring. There's a ring in there. But the stone in it is missing. And you keep looking through past old, like the dead wood and all of that, and sort of buried underneath old soot, you find a small ruby, a small gem. And it looks like it
Does
could...
it appear to be similar to the ruby and the owl?
Yes.
That bird has changed from a hawk to a raven.
It's a hawk.
And it's now an owl.
It's a hawk.
I thought it was a ring.
It's a hawk, and you can thank Chat for that. Chat helped me come up with that little story there.
I'm like, I know it's a hawk, but y'all keep changing it.
I know what they
I like
meant.
It's a magical bird.
It's a magic bird. It could change.
It'll be a phoenix.
So the eagle.
Next is going to be an eagle.
So that pigeon with the ruby eye.
Flowers
Uh-huh.
must be cool.
So yes, Arade and or Rhea, you found this ruby.
So does the ruby...
So one of us found the ring, one of us found the ruby.
Sure.
Trying
And I
together.
found
You found nothing, and you'll like it.
quoting Spaceballs, we ain't found shit.
Aren't we taking this a bit too literally?
So what are you doing? And put the
So-
ruby?
So does the ruby appear to fit in the ring or inside the... of the
It appears to fit both, even.
What?
What? I know.
That's crazy. Okay, first I'm gonna try the putting the ruby in back of the frame to see if it does anything, and then I'm gonna try putting it.
Well, before you can try anything else, you put the ruby in the back of the frame, and it fits perfectly, just a perfect fit. And as soon as it's settled in there, the backing of the frame, that leathery material, just immediately washes over, like it was never broken to begin with. And as that happens, the wall where the frame was sitting, which you can see the less dusty part of that wall where the frame was. That whole section of wall seems to start to separate a little bit. You see this indentation forming in the wall, and it sort of looks like a door. There's no knob or anything, but it looks like a cutout of a door.
Chris says, now that
I'm going to inspect that.
is interesting.
Okay. Never mind. They're doing all this with a nice light buzz. You're not. You're perfectly sober. They've all got a nice light buzz. This is just fun, trippy for them. What are you? You're inspecting the door?
The supposed door.
Okay. Just taking a look?
Yep.
Okay. Perception, please.
Can I press my ear against it and do a perception hearing test?
Sure. You press your ear to it, and it sort of feels cold. You just the way that the
It's a 13.
13. Okay, so Lucy, it sort of feels cold. The slots, like where the wooden panels that make up this hut are, almost like a draft. You can feel against your ear. Rhea, you don't seem to notice anything particularly dangerous about it. It just kind of appears to be a doorway. Yeah, it just appears to be a doorway or a door or some sort of something.
Do I see a place for the ring to fit?
You do not. But you've got a nice ring.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next. Although,
Well, an old
so if
broken
I
ring.
take the ruby out of the frame,
You can't get a hold of the frame of the ruby anymore.
Can I try to fix the ring?
With what?
Some of the rusty tools that are sitting around.
Well, so the way the ring is, it just kind of looks like it's essentially intact. It's just the prongs that were holding whatever gem was in it, presumably that ruby, are just kind of bent back.
Ah.
But could be bent forward again.
You can weaken the metal.
Sure. But,
Alright, I'll leave it alone. For
okay.
now. For now.
Okay. So what are you guys doing?
I rolled an 11 on my hearing thing.
It's just, you kind of hear, you don't hear anything other than, just kind of like moving air. Just like an old, it kind of feels like there might be some kind of passage. Like what, I don't know what you call that. It's like,
Corridor.
you know, the sounds of
Breeze.
wind, like windy a little.
A draft.
Yeah, a draft. Words. Words are great.
Guess we're going to the other side.
Can
of
I
the big
try and hang the frame wall where it was?
Yeah, you put the frame right back on the wall, and then the indentation disappears. It's now a
Yeah.
solid wall again.
Take it off.
Back off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then comes back.
Can I
I
touch
know.
picture to the door?
As you knock, the door immediately just gives way automatically, and it kind of opens on an unseen hinge. And you see a couple of stone steps, impossibly leading forward and down. Just a couple of steps, and then it goes to a small platform in the dark.
Man,
Remember,
Rhea,
people
master of
always knock. It's polite.
always
Yes,
knock
you can.
unless you kick it down.
Alright,
All right. Well, who's first?
Before we make any decisions, I look at the other three ladies in the room and I say, "Oh, by the way, hi, my name is Tari. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this."
Aww. Awkward
It's
Tari.
socially awkward.
Awkward Tari.
I don't understand social cues.
Hi, Tari. I'm Lucrecia, but you can call me Lucy. Everyone does.
Nice to meet you.
I haven't called you anything.
Oh, best
I didn't ask.
Dang, I can't have two sassy bitches. But I do.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm gonna point to them and just go, well, that's Arade, and that's Rhea. They're great people, and my best friend.
Zelda would be hurt to hear
How did
this.
that happen?
Well, all right.
Guess you're part of this party now, Tari.
I guess I am now.
Welcome to the club.
Hey. Aw, it's the island of misfit kids.
Aww.
Want some fish?
So awkward.
Girls like fish.
And it's like the fish is like slowly starting to
Club.
smell a
No, we
little. It's
don't
like that
have
fishy
to.
smell. Not going bad, just like it's that prominent fishy smell in this closed-in
Yeah,
area.
yeah. I mean, I could
Now
kind of.
you just smell like fish, like we didn't really want to hang out
I'll
with you.
probably
Okay.
like bring up the rear because I smell like fish.
Fair enough.
Let's be perfectly honest here. Rhea probably doesn't smell that nice either.
She probably smells like unbathed person who did not hug soap. All right, what are you guys doing?
You know what she
Well,
doesn't
you most
smell like?
recently took a shower
bears.
out of all of us, so...
She doesn't smell like bears.
Probably smells the best out of
It's
all of us.
true.
What are you guys doing?
Oh no!
Ronan, that's horrible. You're horrible.
Rowan, that is horrible. I love it.
I love it.
All right, guys. What's happening? Who's going? Who's moving? Who's what?
I'm bringing up the rear.
I'm going first.
Yep.
All right.
Not going.
So you start making your way down. It's just a couple of steps. It's not very much at all. But it is dark. You only have a little bit of light from upstairs, where it's only getting a little bit of light from outside. So Tari, once you're down, and Arade, you can see. Seriously. And Arade, you can see it's just a very small. It's like a small emptied cellar. There are a couple of things that you see though. There is. You see this very large rolled up, kind of looks like, I guess more like, not parchment, but like leather or like hide or something like that. Canvas, kind of canvas. You see an open chest in there. You see a small bound stack of papers down there. And it actually seems a little bit organized in terms of how it's set up. Like, here is this rolled up piece of canvas. Here is this chest. It's opened. Here, you see the stack of papers. And underneath, here you see a stack of papers. And then just to the side of that, you see this little silver spike. And it seems to have this red engraved design in it.
Is it in any particular language?
It's not even like, not really. It just seems to be a design in like red, almost like it was enamel engraved into the silver spike.
Can I look at the canvas?
Sure, you go over to it and you unroll it, and it is an image. It looks like a painting of a woman. She has. It's this. Whoever painted it either must have thought very highly of this woman or had this woman in their dreams. It's very. She's statuesque. The way she's standing, sort of looking outwards to something that you'll never see. The way it's drawn seems to almost have cloudy wings behind her, like they're not really there, but whoever painted it really imagined she could be some kind of angelic, powerful, divine force.
Does it look like a Luda P painting that I've seen before?
It does not.
Oh.
This woman has short hair. It's kind of dirty blonde or brownish. It's a little hard to tell. It's an aged painting. Her face is very strong, very solid, and her armor. She's wearing this silver and black armor. And even around that, though, there seems to be some kind of like haze. Like the painter was trying to capture a feeling, but it's very hard to do. And that haze seems to be kind of dark, but she looks very powerful, like she's a protector.
Does she also?
Does anyone know history?
She might.
She
No, I have
tech
natural.
with a K.
With a K.
Well, we don't have any lures, but
Can I
I'm
do
an
a
artist.
can I do
Yeah,
an
does
intelligence
anyone
check
have,
to see if
like-
I can recognize the image?
Sure, Tari's gonna do an intelligence check.
Does anyone have intelligence?
It's not gonna be good.
Does anyone have intelligence? Period.
3.
Yeah, you're welcome to try.
Yeah, like 3's pretty good.
All right, I'm gonna look at this painting and see if I recognize anything about it.
12?
Yeah.
You sort of get a feeling about the armor just being a smithy,
Uh-huh.
being one who maybe studied a little bit. The armor itself kind of looks like it reminds you of the Peak Guard, which is the law enforcement here in the Swale. It kind of looks like
Peak guard.
Peak,
Peak.
like
P-E-A-K?
mountain peak, P-E-A-K, Peak Guard. It kind of looks like that, maybe a very old-fashioned style of it, but it kind of looks like that.
I rolled a 14.
Throwback jerseys.
Yeah, sure. 14. You notice the same. You notice the same thing. She looks like she was someone from the guard.
Hey, why not? Let's go for it.
If anyone else is rolling, do it now. Otherwise, that's that. Yeah, that's.
Yay!
You pretty much noticed the same. How'd you do?
11.
Trip 6s? No, not that cool.
No. 15.
15? What did you roll?
Well, 12.
Different at me.
12. 12, 14, 15. Rhea, you notice that, what do you notice? 15 is not actually that. I mean, you definitely notice what they see. You get a sense about her that she was someone important. You're the person who your mentor, you might say, might have mentioned a name in the past, but you can't recall that for the life of you. But she definitely seems like someone who was in a position of power beyond just the Peak Guard. She seems like very important.
So, out of character, let me get this straight. So we have a figure who, from all we can tell, or rather what I can tell, is someone very important, and we have the Tower of the Dark Sorceress here.
Yeah.
This isn't giving off signals of plot at all.
Dang, I was really hoping it would.
Nah. I bet this is just here.
I failed. Oops. I'm a sucky GM. Is there anything else you want to look at in here?
Can I look at the pile of papers?
Sure. You go through the pile of papers. They are relatively fragile, so you hold them very carefully. But it looks to be letters. This appears to be a series of letters. The first one, do you want to read through them?
Yes.
Okay, so you take some time. The first one appears to be from someone named Lord Reginald. He is, he's writing a letter. You can't quite see to who. It's part of it is destroyed, but it appears to be declaring that he is abdicating his position as Lord of the High Seat. He is entrusting Lady Sabina Irel to this position. He trusts her to vanquish this darkness from the Swale and to purge the hearts of these turned men that have crusaded against us. Let their hands never again work for evil. You see another letter that seems to be returning to Lord Reginald from someone. It says, it is with our deepest regrets to inform you that our Lady Judge was killed during the battle. She stood strong. She led us well. We believe she was not alone. She was never alone. And even as she stood atop the tower, we believe that the sorceress watched her and is watching over all of us. And it ends with "Hail to the Knights of the Tor."
Do I recognize anything?
Roll intelligence. Historical lore, if you have it.
I'm just going to say this. I already did, and I just remembered that she's important.
Yes, she is.
And that my master had said this. Would I recognize the name?
Sabina, yes. You recognize Lady Sabina, mentioned for, and if you're one of those kids who doesn't like history class, you're not going to remember necessarily, but you might. But you recall she was not the first lady of the high seat. She was the first ruler of the high seat who came from a supposedly lowly position. She came from being a peak guard to the lady of the high seat at that point in history.
Okay, I will actually roll to see if I recognize anything else.
Okay.
It's not trip sixes. But that is an 18.
An 18, nice. Yeah, you know, Lord Reginald was he was the Lord of the High Seat during a momentous period in history for High Fall Swale. It was during, you saw the word crusade and you recall something called the Adrigal Crusade that happened some hundreds of years ago. And you can imagine that Lady Sabina took over during that time to fend off these crusaders. You've not heard before, and you recall from the letter saying, "Our Lady Judge." You've not heard that before. That's news to you. Normally the person in position of power in the high seat is the Lord or Lady of the high seat. That's simply what you call them.
I'm digging in the chest.
Okay, it is open. You see in there's a shield. It's not enormous. There's a metal shield with this insignia on it. It appears to be like an angelic wing engraved into it. You see a pair of leather gloves. And you see a nearly crumbling leather-bound book. Woo, 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 woo. The dog's excited.
More squirrels?
We're clearly being attacked. Sorry.
By squirrels.
Alright. Will you hush?
I'll take the shield.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I was about to I'm gonna pocket the gloves and then open the book.
Open the book?
To the person who's intelligent.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
I'll give it to her.
Be careful.
So cute.
Cute.
So cute. God, I just want to hug her. All right. What are you guys doing?
Should I open the book?
It's up to you.
Story time? Alright, I'm gonna leaf through
Story
the book.
time with Empress Jen.
Yay! You open the book. What languages do you read? What languages do you know?
And common.
Yeah, you don't understand a single word in this.
Oh.
You know
I
Dwarvish?
speak Elvish.
You do not.
Do I recognize it?
Irade, you.
I do know Dwarvish. I'm a dwarf.
It is not in Dwarvish.
Oh.
It's in Elvish.
Look at it.
It is in Elvish. But even so, right? But even so, for Irade, it's as if we were trying to pick up and without any annotation read Shakespeare. It is old. It is an old kind of archaic form of your language that would take a good. You'd have to sit with it for a while to start parsing through.
Actually, Shakespeare reads really well. It'd be as if we were trying to pick up Middle English.
Yeah, I was about to say, maybe more like Chaucer.
Sure, Chaucer.
So, I would say, in that case, I'll hold on to this.
I'm gonna hold on to
Give it a read through
Canvas?
later.
Got it. Mark that you guys have those. Okay.
Learning things and stuff.
Anything else you want to look at while you're here? No?
I mean, is there anything else left?
So there was the papers, the picture, and the chest.
The chest and the silver spike on the ground.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
pick
right.
up the silver spike.
Okay. Tari's gonna take the spike.
Who?
Tari.
Ryan.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, the bearded guy.
The non-bearded guy.
The one that smells like fish.
The fish guy.
Non-bearded.
The guy.
Oh right, the dude with a penis.
Oh, you mean the
we
not?
haven't- we
You
haven't
mean the
confirmed-
not female person?
Yes, exactly. All right. Is that? Taking it and
Actually,
run?
that does raise a good question. Would this be more difficult to read Canterbury Tales in its original script, or a poem by E.E. Cummings?
That is a very good question, actually.
Which
But
we'll
then
do
at least
next week.
E.E. Cummings is in English. like
It says fuck grammar, fuck punctuation.
it does. This you could probably piece together. There's like proper punctuation, different from ours, but it's gonna take a minute to go through that. You'd have to sit and take time with it.
Like the original Anglo-Saxon English, have you any hot cross bun?
There you go.
Which is how it would read.
Are you guys looking for anything else in here? Or are you heading back up? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're good.
All right. So you start heading back up. You go back through the door, and as you push the door that had closed behind you, you step out. Into the clearing, not into the hut itself. You step out into a clearing. The hut is not
I
there.
picked it that hard.
You are back at the campsite as you step out.
Is what we just walked through anything? Is there like a stone or a marking or of anything?
You stepped through that door, stepped out onto grass. It's a little bit. The sun has started going down a bit. It's nearing sunset. And you have stepped into the
Are there
campsite.
people around that see this?
People seem to be pretty caught up in what they're doing. There's some groups of campers all about. There's a lot of people by the stone pit, the fire pit, getting ready for a bonfire later that evening. But you are amidst your campers, your fellow campers.
I
So
just
it's
kind of
almost evening.
Not
look
quite.
around confused,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what kind of shit did Rivast?
The good shit.
Laced with some cannabis, like.
But we'll let you ponder that and pick that up next week. This is where we'll call it for tonight. Whew! That was a ride. I don't know what I was expecting, but that wasn't it. Nice. Anyway, thank you guys thank you all of our viewers for hanging out with us tonight. Our followers, our subscribers, our lurkers, new followers even. Our new sub. We got a new sub today. Chad. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Resub.
Risa. How many months is this now?
Yeah.
I forget because it kind of stopped subbing for a little bit.
Oh, okay. No worries. Yeah, we will be picking up our game next Tuesday. I'm really excited. I'm like really excited. This is fun. Thank you to my players who are fantastic and so inquisitive and looking at all the things. But we will see.
Good to be back.
What?
It feels so good to be back.
Right? The sass just came in full everything. So we will see you guys next on Thursday. We're playing board games. I don't know what we're playing yet.
I don't either.
We should probably figure that out. I think Jen won't be here.
I will. This Thursday, yes.
Oh, never mind. Jen will be here.
The boyfriend will be watching hockey.
Ah, right. So we'll be keeping our eye out on hockey while playing games, while boyfriend is actually just watching hockey. But we'll see you guys on Thursday for board games.
We'll probably play with Manhattan Project 1. Let's play with Manhattan Project 1.
Oh, hey, there's a thought. We could do that too. That'd be fun. But until we see you guys next, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And now you should go play. You should go play some games. Go play. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a great rest of your evening. See you soon.
Good
Bye,
night,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.